Why are they right here with me? What's so bad here?
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in to session 3 of The Ashes of Winter, or A Song of Ice and Fire TTRPG.
Heck yeah.
Yes. Yeah, if you haven't watched the first 2 episodes, that's okay. Basically, if you're familiar with Game of Thrones, this is in the book universe of Game of Thrones, A Song of Ice and Fire. But it's set 70 years before the main books and set 2 decades after the new show A Night of the Seven Kingdoms that just came out. Ashton is our sole player today, and he'll be playing 2 characters at the start of this, Corlys Corbray and Taegon. Taegon is a bastard of Aerion Targaryen who has died 2 years ago, who is in King's Landing, helping Egg, who has become the king, get to the bottom of a devious plot. People be died. 2 members of the Kingsguard have died in the past 2 days.
It's fine. Nothing's bad's happening.
And then Corlys Corbray is a member of House Corbray in the Vale, but he has gone north to assist House Stark. This wasn't his original goal. He was going to get supplies, but currently he is assisting House Stark in defeating a wildling invasion. He discovered they were wildlings only last episode after the men had attacked members of the Vale wearing Stark clothing. They had been infiltrated. So, without further ado, I think we can begin.
Corlys isn't opening again. What is going
What?
on?
That happened last time, and you had to make a copy of it. Is this the copy, or is this the original?
This is a copy.
I don't know what the hell. I can pull it up to where you can make another copy.
Well, I can do that, but I just don't know why it's not.
You're not out of like space or nothing, are you?
Definitely not.
Alright. You have 4 terabytes?
Yeah, 2.
2.
If I was out of space, then something bad happened.
Okay.
Make a copy, sure. Corlys Corbray.
Yeah. We see a rider on horseback in the north in this thick blizzard. We saw him leave at the end of last episode, Gregor Forrester. He is arriving at the Dreadfort, which is this large, intimidating dark stone keep that is owned by House Bolton. He is going there to get reinforcements because the wildling invasion is about to attack. He rides up there and he drifts his horse to a stop, dismounting and going and pounding on the door and yelling, "I demand an audience with Robar Bolton on behalf of Lord Edwyle Stark." And he just yells that out and is shaking on it before the gates slowly open and he grips his sword. Farther north, we see a stumbling wildling. What were the injuries you did to him last time? His hand is cut off, and then...
That was the guy that attacked me.
Okay.
I cut his hand off, then just stabbed him in the face.
Of course.
He was waterboarded. And then how did I get him down? Because he started running off, and then I got him down. I initially tried to stab through his foot, and I did not succeed in that. Yeah, so he's fine.
Just a little concussed.
And also days without proper food and water.
He is stumbling, and as he drops to his knees and kind of looks around, he looks up, and there's 1 figure in front of him, and then that multiplies into 10, into 100, until the full 200-person army. He stumbles forward, and this large, hulking, ginger man comes up, and he goes, "Orson, and he begins to tell him everything that happened. He goes, "I was captured by the Stark forces.
Damn it.
But we can take them. They do not have much there. They're at the location that we set up." You wouldn't say location. They're at the house. And Arson grabs them and takes a little dagger out and slits his throat and then works his way through the open wound to tear his head off. And then he goes over to this pike that is in the ground, kind of in a border around their camp, and shoves his head on there.
You should have lied.
And he turns back to his other captains below him, his spear wives and the people he has there, and he goes, "We will conquer House Stark this day. We ride." And he mounts this large brown war horse as they begin moving out, and the man that failed is lying dead on the ground. Elsewhere, in a much warmer part of the country, but still a victim of the blizzards, Bulwark is being introduced as an eyewitness. Sir Duncan the Tall refers to you and he goes, "This is Ulrich. He's a brewer inspector. His Grace brought to King's Landing. He was an eyewitness to Sir Willem's execution. Um, what did you see?" In this room, there are the four remaining members of the King's Guard. That'd be Duncan, Duncan and four more. Roland Crakehall, who is the Lord Commander, and Olivar Santadar, who is a Dornishman, Rob Rain, who is a Westerman with ginger hair, and then Glendon Bald. Those are the four remaining ones. You saw a Kingsguard kill another Kingsguard. So unless they somehow obtained the rare armor, it's one of these men. There are a lot of gold cloaks in here as well as City Watch in case something breaks out, because Aegon is also here, including the captain that had saved you when you and your sister first came to King's Landing. Duncan refers to you and goes, "So what did you see?"
Well, I was doing some nightly reading, just trying to acclimate myself to this new place. And out my window, I saw two men fighting on a rooftop. Um, I wished to go find out what was happening. I was restless, not being able to sleep. So I jumped out of my window, attempted to follow them. I followed them by a few city blocks. I think it was two. I could be incorrect. And found the man laying on the ground, dead, with a man on a rooftop standing above where he was.
And you said both of the men were dressed in
Kingsguard armor. The man laying on the ground told me to find the Kingsguard prior to passing away.
And you don't have to say this, but what Willem's last words were the name of this episode. Duncan did this. So Duncan just kind of looks. But you had came and Duncan, you entered. You went looking for a Kingsguard, and Duncan was speaking with Egg, and he didn't seem especially dirty or nothing.
Hence why I'm not going to mention it, because like I know for a fact it's not him.
So Duncan kind of looks to each Kingsguard and goes, "So where were each of you?" Roland Crakehall goes, "I, as Lord Commander, I was making my nightly rounds. I had spent a moment with Kira of Tyrosh and Vegla and Magor. That each one of them can attest to this. I was called away from them during this. I have no knowledge of this, and I'm very saddened to hear two of my white brothers are dead." That's not the.
I was like, "Ooh."
They're white swords, but there's a different term. Not white brothers. They're called white swords.
I saw just for context.
My white brothers are dead. You know what Roland Crakehall looks like? He'd say that too.
Alicia, my girlfriend, is here off camera, and Zachary had said that, and I just look off camera to see her going. Okay. While they're,
I think sworn brothers.
Yeah, probably.
My white brothers. Talking.
Not the white men again.
Victim.
While they are each giving this, can I roll a either perception check, or I assume it would be an investigation check to compare their body and stature to the man that I saw on the roof?
That'd be perception, and you can also insight, and you can do that for each guy you hear. Because he said, Roland Crakehall said something, and so were Olivar, Rob, and Glendon.
This is +1 for perception. That is going to be a 10 flat for Crakehall.
So remembering, it's difficult because the perspective was so fucked. Not only were you looking up through a busted roof and snow, but the guy was looking down. So you don't think it's Duncan, but it may have even been possible to be Duncan. It was very difficult
to see.
On a 10, it could have been Roland. Roland is around 6'2". Olivar is around 6'1". Rob is around 6 foot flat, and Glendon Ball is also 6'1". So it's very difficult. If you don't think it was Duncan, it'd be difficult to tell in stature. Both of the warriors, including Willem, who died and took it off after, he fell had their full masks on. And their masks are described in the books, and this is mostly inspired by a Song of Ice and Fire mythology, but I'll take some things from the shows and stuff. They don't have visors. They're just, yeah.
A wall.
Yeah.
I am going to do that insight check now, too. This is going to be +2. This is going to be a 9.
A 9? His sympathies seem genuine. You had heard that Willem, and Donald, not only did they looked similar age to Roland, probably early 50s, late 40s. You can assume that they were on the Kingsguard together for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, his sympathies seem genuine, and you can't tell if there's any dishonesty. And he seems confident that 3 members of the royal family can corroborate his story. So Olivar goes next. Olivar Santigar is a member of House Santigar, which is a Dornish house, I believe.
Sounds like it is.
Yeah, based on the name, and I know there's a Dornishman named Santigar in the main series, but I'm just going to confirm that because that's going to be different. Yes, in Dorne, their sigil is Achita. Yeah, Olivar Santigar, he goes, and he seems like sheepish. I was simply patrolling. I don't believe anybody can corroborate my story. It escapes my mind now. I believe I was in the West Wing, which is mostly abandoned this time of night. Again, this is still in the early hours of the night. So everyone's also just looks exhausted. Olivar goes, yes, I was around no one, and I was in an unpopulated area of that castle. But I was also on the west side of the castle, and I was the last person to arrive here. People saw me coming. That is all.
Inside.
Yeah.
I'm just going to start rolling at the end of each one. That's going to be a 10 flat.
He seems genuine. He does seem very nervous, but he also is one of the younger members. Him and Rob Rain, the Westerman with the ginger hair, both of them are the youngest ones, and he's also a Dornishman. It could just be he's terrified this will get blamed on him. Rob Rain goes next. He goes, I was abed. Anyone here can corroborate that this is my time. This is my day of the week.
My day of the 7?
If they don't have weeks, that's stupid because they worship the 7 and there's 7 days of the week.
They could call them 7s. My day of the 7.
I like that. I think the issue is George has said that Westeros, or Planetos is what people call it, is bigger than Earth. So maybe that messes with hours. Doesn't matter. No one's worrying about that. This is my day of the 7 where I sleep during the late hours of the night. I was abed and I heard a pounding on my door by the captain here, and I got up and I came. That's the most I know. I can't believe one of them is dead.
There has never been a week named in A Song of Ice and Fire. There are moons and years.
Probably also realistic in the sense that they don't care about the day-to-day, especially like peasant POVs and stuff.
Yeah. A week isn't really something to...
Yeah. Did you hear everything Rob said?
Yeah.
He said it was a bed and someone pounded on his door and he came. You can make an insight check?
Yes. I'm going to do that to all of them. 13.
13?
13.
He seems pretty casual. What was that? He seems pretty casual, but he is also the younger member, and it's possible he was not very close with Willem. You also know House Rain is a very powerful house from the Westerlands, and House Wild is a house from the Stormlands. And the Westerlands and the Stormlands have butt heads semi-frequently on like who's more bravado, who's better of a warrior. But he said he was abed, and everyone else can corroborate that. And then Glendon Ball goes last. Glendon Ball is a big, stocky fella. He's of comparable age to Duncan.
You know I'm not expecting crazy rolls every time, but you roll under 10, it feels like every time. I think the dice hate you. This is true. No, we're living with it. This is just Tagon, I think. Anytime he's not moving his mouth, he's not doing good. And once he can start yapping at people, then he's good at everything.
I can figure out his exact age. Quick math. get that AC out of there. He is 38. He is similar in age to Duncan, who's late 30s and early 40s. He seems very nervous though. He's a very big, stocky fella, nowhere near as tall as Duncan, but probably like 6'2". Hefty is how he would be described. He goes, I was, many people saw me. I was talking with some of the handmaidens of Princess Betha, or the Queen Betha. They had been complaining of unwanted advances from some of the staff, and I was attempting to sort that when I was called for. He seems like he's the most tired of all of them.
10.
He has 10?
10. Straight up.
10, 9, 13, 10.
Hey, those are okay rolls. Those are average rolls.
He's saying.
You think he's telling the truth?
Yeah, like everybody else, you think he's telling the truth. And he seems to have possibly had the most eyewitnesses of everybody. But Sir Roland, Lord Commander Roland, had royal eyewitnesses who you might think they might tell the truth more. Linden just said he was with some handmaidens.
Bulric at this point is going.
The audience, Tagon, you have taken under the guise of Bulric as bastards. On Grey, and you're also a bastard of one of the worst men who ever lived.
Which a lot of people wouldn't like very much. But Bulric is going to not intentionally speak out of turn, but he is going to intentionally speak in this time, which is out of turn. He is going to say, well, to be fair, I didn't see the face. It could be someone wearing the armor.
Aegon, who has been quiet sitting in a corner, cocked his head. That is true, but did it look like Kingsguard armor? History or perception back then? This was only an hour ago. You can do it. Whatever is better for you. History uses intelligence, and then perception would use wisdom. You could also do an
1 is +0, 1 is +1 investigation.
And that was
it's the same.
I was going to say, that cool reasoning investigation on one of the current armors, too.
14.
14? It looked like Kingsguard armor. Like, the intricate little details. Like, yeah, it's just white armor, but what sets the Kingsguard aside is it's blinding reflective light, and oftentimes they'll repair it immediately, so it's often not dented. It looked like every set of armor in this room.
From everything that I saw, I couldn't tell any true differences, but in Lys, where I come from, I knew very many people that were very good at replicating armors, even though they weren't as good of quality.
But unless this was made a long time ago, and if it didn't look rusted, this would have had to been made in a storm.
I don't know what that means.
Winter's been going on 5 or 6 years. So either the armor is old and someone's waiting to do this, or if it was made recently, they somehow made it during the blizzard, which would be like firewood just to make the smelter first off, not even thinking about the precious materials. As coming from a trader place like Lys, you probably understand what he's saying. It would be very difficult to make this armor now, and if it's old, the hell is it old for? Where did it come from? Why is it not rusted, etc.? Armor can go up to 20 years without rusting with proper care, which a Night Guard would, Kingsguard would have with squires and stuff. But it looked pristine, identical to all the other ones, which are constantly repaired even during a snowstorm if they take damage. Aegon hears you say that and goes, I suppose. Well, I'll send some gold cloaks to corroborate your stories, Glendon and Roland, and then I'll send some soldiers to see if anyone saw you, Rob or Olivar. And Rob nods but goes, I was in bed, Your Grace. No one should have seen me. And Aegon goes, I understand. I am not saying if they saw you to corroborate your story. So Rob. And Rob nods his head and understands. Aegon's not checking to see if he was in bed, he's checking to see if he wasn't. And Aegon just kind of lets the air out, and the door barges open, and both Sir Steveron Swan, a member of House Swan, who is the Master of Laws, and the Master of Coin, Gerald Lannister, both kind of enter, shoving into each other. And Gerald goes, what is the meaning of this? And Aegon goes, Kingsguard is dead. I don't believe you were summoned for this meeting, nor were you, Sir Steveron. And Steveron bows, and Gerald does it after he's a bit more portly and he has a cane. so he doesn't do it as good. Starrun goes, I simply wanted to be there to provide any information I could as a Master of Laws on this. I'm unaware of why Sir Gerald, Lord Gerald, is here. I simply wanted to aid you during this, your grace. And Gerald goes, why am I here? One of my finest knights from my hold is being questioned for murder. When, if I have his schedule memorized, he was asleep. Well, what is occurring here? And Aegon goes, if I need anything else from either of you, I will ask. And Duncan kind of steps in front of them, hulking, and leads them out with some night escorts.
Taegon is going to stifle a laugh as they're being ushered out.
Aegon kind of stifles one too. He seems youthful for a moment. Aegon should be 33 right now, I believe. He became king only 2 years ago during the winter. After
Maekar.
Maekar first angel. Do you know how he died?
I do not.
Hit in the head. Some uprising he was fighting because he was the warrior king and he kept going into battle when he didn't need to. And a real tactic in medieval fights. Someone dropped a rock over the side of the building.
This is something we've said in previous episodes, but just in case you have not watched them, or it's also for her over there, that if you've seen A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, King Aegon, who we are referring to, is Egg, and Maekar is the father of Egg in that series.
And this isn't really a spoiler, because the books, like, unfortunately, unless they change stuff, we won't see Maekar again or any other members of that family until, like, unknown seasons. Season 4. But season 4 is probably going to be in Winterfell, so probably not.
We gotta just pray for the next, like, 4 years that they make a season after what has already been made.
I think they definitely will. Even if it's, like, a fully original story without Germ's influence. Yeah, they might wait, though, because they've said they want to do 15 seasons of everything. And
are they planning on ever bringing back Game of Thrones?
What do you mean?
Like,
well, it finished.
Yeah, I know. That's why it didn't have 15 seasons. You said 15 seasons of everything.
Not the Seven Kingdoms.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought you said everything. So I was like, are they bringing it back?
They want to reach Egg and Duncan's
end of life.
Yeah. Demise, which happens when Aegon's kids are in their 20s. So I think maybe a pause might happen in the third season. But I think which sucks for waiting. But unless they recast Egg, which I don't see, that young man is so talented. Dexter, Son Hall.
And just imagine being like 35 and seeing that same person. That'd be so
crazy.
sick.
They'll probably write the scripts. But yeah, they plan to go until Egg and Duncan's dual death during Rhaegar's birth. Rhaegar Targaryen was born when they both died. So, yeah.
Aerys.
You just know it had something to do with
yeah.
So you're like...
No, I meant he comes in after that, doesn't he?
True. The show cut out the king in between Aegon and Aerys, who is Jaehaerys II, who is one of Aegon's kids. But he only rules for 2 years, so... And that's the Game of Thrones. I don't know how many changes...
I got him going.
Sorry. I don't know how many changes because imagine watching the Game of Thrones spinoff about Egg, and then they don't make Egg's kid the king after Egg, which is what happened. I think they might just not acknowledge the changes Game of Thrones made, and just do their own thing.
Hopefully.
Because
I would just want them to ignore it and just be like, this has always been true.
Yeah. Because the only time that they go through the lineage, they don't do that in Game of Thrones, they do that in the supplementary material, which is the narrations you've probably seen on social media of just Jaime's actor talking about the Kingsguard, which is like not a big deal at all. You're back on that. They've already retconned info from that. The Valerians in House of the Dragon are black. They are not depicted as black in any of the billion videos. So if that can happen, you can include King who ruled for 2 years.
Yeah.
Back to if we ever did a Star Wars one, it'd be just as bad. Or Dragon Ball.
Dude,
we did really good actually in Dragon Ball. You ran a Dragon Ball game and you were on top of
it. Because it now you're getting me on. The thing is about and this goes for any time you're writing a TTRPG for something that doesn't already have material, or you're trying to create your own material for it, you have to treat it as if it's not that material anymore.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to get stuck up in trying to be Akira Toriyama or George R.R. Martin, and you aren't them.
Definitely. I've already thought of ways that this could have been better. And we're on session 3. But yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So in general, if you're ever like trying to make a system out of a property that doesn't have a system already, ignore half of what you're trying to bring over. You start with the base components, work your way up.
Millions of people loved the ending of Game of Thrones. A lot of people did actually enjoy it, or the last 4 seasons, which are the bad ones. So yeah, in addition to definitely not trying to reach the heights, still put effort in because some people will prefer your stream if it's streamed or if they find it to a lot of the actual canon material.
Yeah.
And then in that audience member's head, it'll be one of their favorite things in that universe or whatever.
100%. Okay,
so
back on track.
That was rough.
Like I said, you've got this.
Yeah. Does Bolric say anything before Duncan orders those men to be sent off with 2 sentinels of the gold cloaks watching them?
Just the stifled laugh that I said before, definitely loud enough to be heard by everybody in the room. Maybe not by the people who are walking through the door because they're not looking at the room, but anybody's in there.
You laugh, that makes Aegon laugh, and then like Duncan just like smirks, and then Glendon probably laughs a little bit. Also, I just want to say this because it's very cool for me. Glendon Ball is a supporting character from what will be the 3rd season, who Duncan saves and they become best buds.
Oh, that's cool.
So, because we know, I don't think he'll join the Kingsguard, but he's a bastard. So definitely, people definitely think that the small council in the Kingsguard of Aegon will have bastards. I saw a fan fiction where like a merchant from White Harbor, which is the northern merchant, becomes master of ships instead of like a Valerian or something. Glendon could sit on the Kingsguard. It'd be very sad. Glendon, Raymond falls away when he has an heir, would be sick. Just Dunk has been to the 7 Kingdoms. They had adventures everywhere. So if they collected people like that, that'd be very cool.
If they do make him a Kingsguard, they're gonna kill him. You're gonna die real soon. I just know that for a fact. I'm just saying that about a TV show, hypothetically, not this at all.
Yeah.
Not talking about this.
I mean, it'd be sad if he lived to an old man and died in the same place Duncan and Egg did.
I was just thinking of like it as a TV show, like oh, you have this character who was saved in the last season, and the beginning of the next season they get murdered.
Duncan, and then Duncan and Egg would be directly responsible for putting him in the Kingsguard and all that. I think he might say he plans to start a house, but he doesn't really get enough fame to do that. So maybe he wouldn't join the Kingsguard to start a house. Don't know. The 3rd book is my least favorite. It's a little sketchy with the plot and some of it's redone of the 1st book, but I liked a lot of what the 1st season added to the book, so I'm excited for the season. I think the 1st book is like here, and then book 2 is here, and like book 3 is here, and then like Game of Thrones is in between. Unimportant. I'm very confident in the team. They added so much bullshit, and I'm very confident in season 2 and 3. I like it better than season 2, the 2nd book and the 3rd book. So, you guys stand up. Yeah, Aegon like waves his hand. He goes Dunk, and Duncan orders the captains. I want 2 sets of eyes on each one of the Kingsguard, including me, until this is sorted. And the captain goes, "Yes, sir," and orders men. And he calls out their name like Jansen. He says each name and sets them. So the gold cloaks can't pick each person to go in case there's any like allegiances, and they kind of walk off. And as everyone's walking away,
and I assume I'm just like standing there next to Aegon, like
you 3 are kind of huddled up, and everyone's slowly moving away. Aegon goes, "Do you have anything you didn't say in the meeting?
Just what you and Duncan already know." Do you know of a reason he would say that? I've never met a man as no offense, Duncan, as large as he is. It'd be hard to mistake.
I have no rightful idea.
Have you ever met anybody who holds up to your stature? Making you do research. My son Hogor. What was his name? Hodor. Damn it.
No. There was Sandok the Shadow, who was a very tall Barosi in Aegon the Third's reign, and then we're on Aegon the Fifth, and there's Duncan, and then just a ton of tall people after Duncan that are probably defeated.
I don't know. It makes me sad to think that I guess he's not married, and he'd probably be normal about it. But
yeah, that is a tough, because we have one that's confirmed, so we know he has a bastard. It is confirmed.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, but like, would he be okay with that? Would he be chill? Does he even know?
He definitely gives him money.
Oh, definitely.
It has to. That has to be true.
But at least that's such an interesting. That's why not only is Egg such an interesting character because he's a 9-year-old and he becomes king, and we have no idea how enigmatic he is as king. Duncan, 20 years past of servitude. Duncan was a member of the Kingsguard when the Mad King was assaulting his wife, the mother of Daenerys. We see a lot of that with Jaime. Like, was it honorable to do what he did? People wonder if Duncan eroded. People wonder if we don't know. We meet Duncan when he's 17 or 16. So Egg's a kid, but Duncan's a kid too. We really don't know. He can definitely roll a history check. Nope. But there are definitely tall people out there. There's short people, there's tall people with like the dwarfs and tall, like crazy physical people exist. Like I said this last episode, if Duncan existed, he'd die. 6'11". Unfortunately, but he becomes buff and strong, just not on old-timey nutrients, not even like on a pill. Yeah, fantastical people exist. He shrugs and says no. Do you know who's confirmed to be Duncan's descendant?
Who?
Do you?
No. Am I supposed to?
No, I don't want to tell you, but it's not even like confirmed. It's one of the few things that is confirmed by Word of God, which is when the author says something George R. R. Martin said.
No, Hodor?
No, Brienne.
Who?
Do you know Brienne of Tarth, the big lady? You haven't met her yet, but there's a big. You don't know her? There's a big lady now.
No, that's super cool though.
You don't know nothing about her?
No.
No, she comes in book 2. She works for Rimley, and she's just a big lady knight.
Thank you.
And she's very cool.
Eek-mack.
That.
Yeah, stop saying that.
That, and then people think Hodor because you don't know nothing. We hear a story about a character remembering a young lady kissing a very tall knight in Winterfell. We know one of the books planned is them going to Winterfell. And then Hodor's big as fuck. And Old Nan is confirmed to be Hodor's mother or grandmother.
Yeah, she says that.
He is? Okay.
She says that Hodor is my child.
Probably Hodor.
Something.
And then we actually don't know the other 2. He says there's 4 too. It could be Gregor and Sandor. The Hound and the Mountain. They only become a noble house. Not too long. Tywin makes them a noble house. Gregor's father used hounds to kill a lion that was attacking the Lannister. So that the Craycalls, the Lord Commander is a Craycall, and there's the very tall Craycalls, and the Craycall we see in this time isn't mentioned to be especially tall. Those are the other big theories. But no, definitely Hodor, probably everything but confirmed, and Brienne is confirmed.
Yeah, he just hasn't confirmed Hodor because he wants to reveal that in a book.
I do think that'll be, well, people think Duncan might be connected due to, you saw the thing of Dexter, the Egg actor saying Duncan. You didn't see that? Yeah, you saw an interview. He says something and Duncan's actor goes,
oh, yeah.
yeah, that Duncan lives, which there's a lot of theories. It could be that I think George told him Duncan lived and he didn't. That's my theory, is that George told this 9-year-old that Duncan lived and Duncan did not.
That'd be an adult thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's interacting with this kid. He's like, yeah, you can. They could be that.
He's alive.
The people north of the wall meet this large, not that large, but he could have eroded, kind of cryptic figure called Cold Hands, who's like magical. Could be that. And if that's the case, the North Old Nan could be a connection there. He could meet Hodor, a descendant. No idea.
We just meet a 130-year-old Dunk.
He'd be 80.
Oh. Huh.
No, I lied.
130.
Oh God.
130.
He's 17 in 209, so 209 minus 17, and then the books take place in 300. So he'd be 108. Okay, back to it.
I forgot. We're here for a reason.
I'm so professional. No other shit DMing ever, even not streaming, has got me like that. So he goes, no. One of the only other things, Aegon says, one of the only things he could be referring to, and a captain, or one of the Goldfolks just runs up panting and goes, and he kind of almost drops, and Duncan goes over and goes, are you okay, son? And he goes, the princes are missing. It's Duncan and Jaehaerys are missing. And Aegon goes, what? Who saw them last? And he goes, I need to not be doing that. And the guy goes, one of the handmaidens left both of them while they were wrestling to get fresh water from them. And when she came back, they were gone. And we've been looking for them the past couple minutes. And Aegon goes, "Find them!" These are his two eldest sons, or his two eldest kids, his heir and his younger heir, 12 and 10.
Especially with everything.
He also just loves his kids, and with everything going on, 2 men have died recently. 2 men that previously were thought to be impenetrable to Kingsguard. He just starts barking, and Duncan has to calm him down. He goes, Find them now! The first person to find them gets 100,000 gold dragons. And Duncan...
Taegon's gonna run out of the room. Yeah.
As Duncan's coming in, you run out. Make a general investigation check.
I'm going to Amalia.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
I'm not even looking right now. I just go straight to her.
Yeah, you go right to where she be. You burst in the room, and Kira Kira of Tyrosh, the twice widowed, is bouncing a crying Maegor, and the younger Trisha, the fake name your sister's going by, is holding the older Vela, who is Daeron the Drunken son or daughter 13, who is simple. Bad term. Your sister is comforting the girl 3 years older as she's crying, and Maegor, the baby, your half brother, is crying, and Kira's trying to comfort all of them. And Kira jokes when she should come in and goes, "Have they found him?"
No, can I speak to the both of you, pointing to the 2 girls?
Kira looks like she wants to.
Not Kira.
Yeah, but Kira is trying to protect them. But then she thinks that that's your sister and goes, "Yes, I'll be right outside." And takes a Maegor who is bawling. He reaches out to you as you walk past your 2-year-old half brother or 3-year-old. But then she closes the door. And Vela's just weeping, sobbing.
I get down on. Yeah, I get down on one knee, just looking at the both of them. I'm gonna say, "Do you know of anywhere where your cousins, your half brothers, would hide? Have they mentioned a secret hiding spot? Any?" Do you want me to roll perception, or is this perception? I mean,
Vela
persuasion.
Was rolling a history check to see if she knows about any of the secret passageways in the Red Keep, which do exist. I would think she wouldn't, but even if she had a negative modifier, Vela got a 13, which makes sense because she likes history. She goes, "There's said to be a secret passageways, but no one knows how to access them. Uncle, the king has tried to find them. If he couldn't find them, I doubt anyone else could." And Trisha is comforting, and she goes, "We saw them an hour ago. I thought it was weird, but some gold cloaks were hanging around. Not any House Targaryen guards or Kingsguard, but gold cloaks. But I didn't think anything of it."
Do you remember any of their names, faces, any other details?
One of them, they were both men, of course, and one of them was blonde, and one of them was red of hair. I can't think of anything beyond that, I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you. Stay here with her. I will go get Kira. And he leaves, lets Kira back in, and he's going to go straight back to Aegon.
And you see Kira was returning from somewhere, and she's hiding something in her waistband.
I just see that?
Yeah, you notice that. She's not making it very overt. She's doing it wildly while trying to hold Aegon in one hand. You want to see what it is, or just ask her.
I'm just gonna stop her and just in the doorway. I'm facing this way. She's facing into the door, and I just stop and I go, "You know why I have to ask right now? What was that you're fiddling with in your waistband?"
She just lifts her poofy just aside, and there's just a knife in there.
Good. And he's gonna keep on. The fact that she instantly was just showing me, I don't care.
No, she loves her family, and even if she's still removed as an SOC, she understands that's her family and that's your family.
Yeah.
You guys have that connection. Yeah, you bolt off.
Educational sidetrack. Thank you. We appreciate it.
Oh, we were talking about what we did.
Yeah. Well, I walked back to Aegon.
I feel embarrassed, but also that might be actually cool. Or not embarrassed, but I feel silly. But that actually might be cool if people are interested. And
if I was watching something that I didn't know the lore behind, I would love it.
And we're talking about relevant things.
But I also have autism. Don't shake your head yes.
I thought you said don't shake your head no. And I was like, she might have information. She might have some
don't agree with me.
Background info. Make a history check flight. Or I do modifier.
No modifiers, but it is a history check.
History or perception.
I'm doing perception. That's going to be a 14.
14?
I'm like okay with this like 10 to 15 rolls I'm getting. It's kind of okay.
It's better than the slightly worse.
Yeah. I'd rather that than 6 to 10.
A couple of thoughts roam through your head, and you're trying to think of where ginger and blonde people could be from. You just saw Rob Rain, who was ginger, and you know Lord Gerald was blonde. Most of the people from other locations have like brown or, but yeah, the Vale is black. That's the North is black. Riverlands is brown average. Tyros are dirty blonde, and Dornish is Dornish. Baratheon's blonde, or the Crownlands or the Stormlands. Most of the fairer hair colored people would just be from the Westerlands. And you also know you heard, and do like a quick passing description, Sir Donald of Duskendale, who was the man that was killed before you got here, was ginger, and he was from the Crownlands, which is the Crownlands. It's technically, when they're saying like it's not actually 7 kingdoms, it's 8.
Yeah.
The Crownlands is a tiny ass kingdom. Yeah, that's it. And it's basically the Stormlands and the Westerlands put together.
And wasn't there some king at some point that tried to make Dragonstone its own kingdom as well? Or am I going crazy?
Dragonstone, I think, rules from the Crownlands, so I think that's their hold.
Oh, okay.
Daemon, you might be thinking of Daemon Targaryen, who like kind of rebelled against Viserys, his brother, House of the Dragon. They skipped over that, so you won't see that in the show. A couple of times, because Dragonstone is the House Targaryen seat, but the Targaryens are the kings. So the same way Robert Baratheon put Stannis or Renly on Dragonstone, like Rhaegar was the Prince of Dragonstone while Aerys was king. So it probably has happened a couple times, because especially Targaryen sons want to overthrow their dads, their uncles, stuff like that. But yeah, you would think that these guards could have been from the Westerlands. Where do you try to run?
I'm going to Aegon. Back to that room that they were in.
You come back. It was just like a meeting room. It wasn't the official small council chambers. And you like enter the door, and Aegon is in there alone, and he's just like gripping the table.
I just lean into the room, and I just say, I just spoke to Amalia, and oh god, what was her name?
Kira.
And other. I just spoke to Amalia, and
I'm trying to make Bela Drain. That's the second time I've ever heard of them with the incorrect pronunciation. Bela is Darren's daughter, Aegon's niece.
I just spoke to Vela and Amalia, and they said that they saw a red-haired man, red-haired gold cloak, and a blonde-haired gold cloak sitting with the 2 boys before they went missing. I am now going to go search the area that they were lost in. I will be back.
I'll inform the other guards. Thank you. He calls you cousin, right?
Yes.
Nephew, because Arian's his brother, Arian's son. I just forget that because they're so different apart in age, but it's because medieval people.
They've been having kids since they were 16. Now they're 40.
Yeah, you're his nephew. He goes, thank you, nephew. You run off, and as you're running, we move to Corlys in the north, who you're just preparing to fight in this small huddle, trying to stay warm. Orson Wainwood, your squire's with you. Your cousin Harold Templeton is with you, your maternal cousin. Ardo Stark, the uncle to Lord Stark, is there. And if you want to use it for anything, Wolf's Blood, your horse, is there. That's out of that. You see some other soldiers that you recognize from the north. You're alone here as a Valeman. You see Robert Poole, who was of House Poole. The Blue Dot is what he's known as. He was the knight who just had a blue dot right there.
Have I healed at all in the time between?
It would have been a short rest. I'll say you can heal 1d4. The rules of the system are you can heal 1d4 on a short rest. If you have food, there will be provisions from the army. Yeah.
3.
And you add your combat, or your durability modifier.
Which I have just added on to, so this is going to be a
say,
3 plus 6.
Additionally, in between episodes, you leveled up. Do you want to say anything unique about stuff?
Nothing really super cool happened.
The cool thing would be feats. If the system had feats, I intend for it to have feats, but it was made very quickly, and feats are a lot. Especially my feats in Halcyon, which are leveled. There's 115.
Yeah, something like that. It's crazy.
So,
Mostly, I just not mostly. This is what happened. I gave myself an extra point, an extra modifier in durability, which helps me get more health. Corliss's whole bit is that he just takes hits. He doesn't really dish out that much, which is not what he's been doing.
Valyrian steel sword.
You don't need to be strong. Yeah, gave him an extra point in durability, and I also gave him some more health. He is now 57 health total. And then I am currently at 28 before I add my 9 that I just got. And then when it comes to Tagon, I need to remember.
Tagon is you are the warrior class, and Tagon is the schemer class. It's possible that like later, I will add some classes. Like there's a berserker one. I might add a mountain clansman. I may add an Ire Adam's reaver or a Dothraki blood rider. But currently, it's like a subclassless system, and I put a few more stuff into the classes to make up for that.
I gained expertise in stealth, and I gained more health with Tagon.
Yeah, in addition to all those people I just mentioned, you have Robert Poole, the Blue Dot, and Rory Castle. And just a decent amount of northern soldiers, House Stark soldiers mostly, but there's some Forester men and all that. What all do you do as you prepare for war? Prepare for a battle, I should say. You have 100 Stark men here, and Gregor Forster rode off to talk to Robard Bolton to get reinforcements. Artos is attempting to replicate Maekar and Baelor's Anvil in the Hammer strategy, where one thicker line holds off against, and then a secondary army smashes.
I am most likely just reserving my energy, sitting alone, eating as much as I can. I am definitely not speaking to many people. I'm just kind of sitting off on my own.
Ardos comes over to you and goes, "You ready?"
Yes, sir.
I'm happy you're here. I'm glad you're here, he would say. You're a good warrior, and I feel safe with you at my side. I will give Lord Jasper my direct thanks if we both make it through this. Recommend you commendation.
This is a favor that I will not soon forget.
Pats you on the shoulder, and just he brings out this large bastard sword, which is a mix between a sword and a long sword. So it's called a hand and a half sword. And then pulls out a small wooden thing, small wooden shield, and slams them together.
The real selling point for bastard swords back when they were made is that it was a bastard between short swords and long swords.
So it's kind of the middle in between the range of a long sword, but not as much heft.
Yeah.
People unlike modern media may show you, a lot of people did swing long swords with just one hand. Sometimes they also had a shield, or sometimes were riding a horse when they did it. But it definitely is an appeal that you can use both to get a lot more traction, which you cannot do with a normal sword. You can do it definitely, but so the bastard sword is not only my favorite sword, but a mix between those two. It's my favorite because of its long ice on fire. Jon Snow, the bastard, wields it. It's also here in the north. Not here and beyond their island, because it is a sword across Mormont currently, but it's somewhere. Okay. Yeah, you guys prepare, and you see coming through the snow a thick like line of light. It seems like they have each one of these men somehow. They have some beyond the wall method of lighting fires, maybe some substance that you guys don't have access to. But as it gets about 300 feet out, right when you're actually starting to make up their bodies, each one of them puts their torch out, and you just hear the thunderous, after a couple seconds, sound of hooves approaching as the few people you guys have on horseback ride to meet them. Are you on horseback on Wolf's Blood? Or are you going to be on the ground? Arios is on horseback.
Yes.
Then you're in Wolf's Blood?
Yeah, I want to be in the front. Wherever the front is, that's where I want to be.
So Ardos is a decent bit ahead of each feet, like a couple feet, very confident, and you're the only one at his side. And you guys like the shot of the Child of Seven from my life. Yes, the Night of the Seven Kingdoms. You guys ride and slam into the other people. The soldiers on the ground are running behind you guys, so they'll meet the combat a little sooner after. Please make one attack for me as you go to slice against the first wildling you encounter.
This is how we're going to test if the charging technique works. I have had this charging on a 1 since I began playing Tagon.
Okay.
We'll see how bad this roll is. It doesn't work. Just a normal attack.
Normal attack as you're running, you're about to slam into them.
That is going to be a 14. Whoa. That's a 16. I apologize. Because I almost didn't add my proficiency damage.
Add your proficiency, boy.
And then I add my strength onto one of these rolls, right?
Yes, just once to the pool of the total.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're able to do that very easily, especially because the lightness of your brilliant sword. As you're riding, you see he has like a bow and he tries to shoot at you, and you just sidestep it, and then as you ride past him, just decapitate him easily, and then you slam into another one.
That is 9 for my first roll. That's adding my strength. And then the second one, not adding strength. 10 damage total. Perfectly average.
You lop his head off. Yeah. And then the snow like encapsulates whatever camera we're seeing from, and we just hear violent sounds of
A random red streak across the snow on the camera. Yeah.
Definitely, yeah. Snow covers half the camera, and then some blood in the snow, and eventually the vision is just obscured before it cuts to black. And then we will get our first scene. Let me find it. So much farther away, much farther south, actually, we are currently in the very top of House Bolin's land, but we are coming down to the Iron Islands. Let me make sure that's on camera. It is not at all. You're up here. We're coming down here. That tiny cluster of islands. We saw at the end of last episode the Iron Islands, large glaciers taking up lots of land. Lord Reaper Dagon Greyjoy was laughing maniacally, seemingly gladdened by the state of Westeros, and his son was attempting to dissuade him. We continue from that. The few areas of the sea not frozen from the terrible winter hurl themselves endlessly against the rocks, as if they too are restless and starved. Within the sea tower, which is the oldest and outmost building at Pike, the hall is dim, lit by guttering torches that spat and snap in the drafts of wind that shoot through. The Iron Islands have these giant stone windows, so banners may be put up, but a lot of the wind still just cuts through. Salt clings to everything. Even here, the winter's teeth bites into the Westerosi people. Dagon Greyjoy stands before the great driftwood chair, one hand gripping its arm as if it were the prow of the ship. His hair, black streaked with iron gray, whips in the wind that finds its way through every crack in Stone Fortress. Quellon Greyjoy stands a few paces off, his heir, cloak wrapped tight around his shoulders where his father leans into the storm. Quellon seems to brace against it. Listen to it. The drowned god calls to us. He does not whisper in calm seas. He roars in storms of sleet and rock.
It sounds like death.
Aye, death for others. Our stores are near gone. The nets come up empty, the rocks yield nothing. Our men grow thin, hungry men grow restless. But it will ripen men into reavers.
Or dulls them. Winter is not through with us. You saw a thaw where there is none. The seas are worse than I have ever known. If we were to sail, half the fleet could be lost before we had sight of mainland.
Then the other half will feast. That is of no matter regardless. The riverlands are soft, fat with grain even now. Their rivers do not freeze as ours do. Their lords sit by warm hearths while our children gnaw on bones. We will march boat to the mainland and then walk from there.
We should wait. A moon, 2, let the storms pass. Strike when we can return with what we take.
Wait, and let my people starve while Greenlanders hoard their plenty. We could wait for this blizzard to cease, or for sun to return, for tides to calm, or we could march north like the Ironborn we are, and reeve and take. You feel the sea now, boy?
I respect it, as any Ironborn should.
Respect. You speak like a maester.
And you speak like a man who would throw lives into the deep for a chance at plunder. This is not the seas of summer, father. The water is black and the land is white.
He turns slowly from his chair and just walks over to you. He is keeping his eyes, Dagon is keeping his eyes up the ground, looking at Quellen until they get almost nose to nose, and then he just slowly raises his face and stares with these bloodshot ancient eyes. The water is always black and red if it is not. That is what we are.
Then send another.
Say that again?
I will not lead this. Not now, not into this snow. It will fail, and I will die in the lands of the river instead of the salt of the pike.
Coward.
I am merely a son who wishes to live long enough to serve his house.
A son who trembles at waves, you shame me.
I would rather shame you than doom our people.
He grabs Kralon by his cuffs of or his shirt and slams him up against the wall. Not enough to slam, but just shoves and gets in his face. Quellon is a foot taller and larger. He could easily withstand, but he does not. Our people are already doomed if we do nothing. You speak of death as if it ends you. You have a son, a strong one. He bears your name. If you die, he will take your place. The line continues. The Kraken does not weep for a single tentacle.
That is my son you speak of.
It is your legacy and mine. A gust howls through the hall and rattles the torches. The sconces dim slightly before returning.
You would send me to my death and call it duty?
I would send you to glory, or to the drowned god. Either is fitting for a great joy.
What would you have me do?
You will take our best, hard men. You will strike the riverlands, take what you can carry, burn what you cannot, and return before the snow swallows you.
And if the snows do?
Then you will have died Ironborn. This is all we can hope for.
At least grant me men I can trust. Men who fight as well as I do.
He releases Dagon now and backs up. You will have them. Christian Cod, he has no fear in him, only hunger. And roaring drum, they call him the Reaver. He will bring red rains to the riverlands. The Lord Reaper steps back and slowly returns to the chair. He only grips the prow again. He doesn't sit, as if that small amount of stillness would be too much for him. You leave soon, before the next moon turns.
As you command.
Quellen turns to leave, and Dagon says, Quellen, do not fail me. Quellen stands there for a long moment, listening to the storm and the sea and the weight of his father's words. And then he answers, but he does not turn.
I will not fail you, my lord.
Whether that means he will succeed or simply die trying, Kralon heads out all the same. Dagon stands there alone with the wind and the roaring darkness of his home. Back in the north. Please make another attack as Duncan.
Duncan?
No. As Corliss has returned.
You heard it here first. Corliss is a bastard of Duncan.
How old are you?
18. If he really got to it.
I mean, that could be a possibility. You big as hell.
This is just an attack.
There's also some theories that
14.
None of the I think I read if you calculate the ages, none of his bastards
Actually work.
confirmed happened after Kingsguard, so it could have been before he took vows. It's immoral, but technically not illegal for a man to have a bastard. A lord, yes, Duncan is no lord. He's a guy. A landed knight is his highest title. Sir is his highest title. So we can definitely clap and have Keith.
May I have one of these as well?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. We are sponsored by nondescript.
Root beer.
It's cold. Holy shit.
Mm-hmm. It was in the fridge before we left.
Start recording. If you are, I will give it a second for it to send out all the notifications. If you are just now watching, just now tuning in, I mean, we had
some technical difficulties.
camera stop working. But it's working now. Everything looks good. But yes, the streaming is recording. Both of the mics are going. I will attempt to just cut both of these together when streaming.
Oh boy.
I'll also. Do you think I should start putting out my notes for D&D and reading from them, or do you think having one Google tab open wouldn't affect it that much?
Having one Google tab wouldn't affect it that much.
Awesome. Then everything looks good on my end. I'll give it a couple more seconds for people to come in, but besides that, cool.
Your dog are spoiled.
Your roll.
Am I rolling? I already rolled to attack. It was a 14.
That hits. So roll damage again.
So glad I remembered that because normally I would not.
Yes.
I would definitely just roll it.
3 more times, and if you miss any one of them, they're going to make an attack on you. Hello.
5 for the first damage, and this one will be without my strength. That is going to be a 13 in total.
13 in total, so you slice another one. This one's coming at you from the side, and you swing upward and you just cut him open. Normally this would be like a skin wound, but with the bleeding steel, his guts just spill onto his horse, who turns confused at the heat, and the body falls off. Roll again, please.
This is my worst one. It's going to be an 11.
That is not hit, so they're going to make an attack on you. There's a 14 be your armor class.
No.
Yeah. The rocket's going to just pounce off your armor. Please make another attack.
That's a fun way to do an encounter. You have to hit this person this many times or you just keep getting hit.
That's what I'm thinking, because you're coming at them with steel plate and a sword. So you're going to get that first hit in no matter what, especially with fear, but if you miss.
Yeah. That is going to be a 16.
That hits. Please roll damage.
Plus 2. 5 for the first roll again. That's cocked. I got the exact same thing. 14 damage.
Yeah. You kill another one. Please give me your this one comes at you like a spear from the side, and you just cut off the tip of the spear in his head again, which is a move you did last time. You probably have practiced it on stonemen from the mountains. Please roll your final of these checks.
It's going to be a 6. That hits.
A 6 does not hit, so they're going to roll an attack on you. Cocked. Does a 21 be your armor class?
A 21?
Yes.
It does, but let me find a reason to make it not happen.
Okay. Take your time.
Just so you don't think I'm trying to lie to you right now. No, I kind of just have to take this.
You go to swing wide, and this tinier one dodges and then hits you with a club inside the head. You take 2 points of.
I'm going to use my defense fighting style to reduce the incoming damage by my proficiency modifier, which is 2. So I do not take anything.
Nice. Apologies, I was letting the dog out of the room, a family member was home. And then you reduce it to nothing, yeah. So, yeah, you kind of, as you see the wooden cudgel coming at your head, you bump, slam into it. Apologies for that.
You're okay.
And you're able to, break the club with your forehead, just smash it, and it kind of splinters into his hand. So you've gone through the first couple rounds of riding, slicing and fighting each other. Your horse seems very wary, and by this point, a lot of people are off the horse. Do you want to stay on the horse, and if the horse gets hit, wolf's blood, you might take more damage, or do you want to dismount now but lose any possible advantages?
Do
Not possible
I?
advantages, you have advantage on all attacks. works against anybody, not a horse. But you take bludgeoning damage if the horse gets killed while you're riding.
Are they still like in a formation together?
It has now dispersed to where most of the Stark and Forster men are in a decent line, but a few have gone like into the fray. So there's a line of Forster and Stark men and a line of Wildlings, and then a couple other parties on the outside. You and Ardos are both riding around those parties.
I'm going to step off my horse, but I'm going to step off while my horse is turned to where we came from, and I'm just going to slap it on its hind and have it run.
And yeah, it bolts through. It slams into one wildling, and then the Starkmen kind of disperse as it rides on through, and you turn. Now you and Ardos are slicing back and forth. Please make 3 more attacks to me with the same rules as before.
That is going to be a 21.
Hits.
8, 4, 12 total damage.
Yeah, this one comes at you, and you just quickly move and slice him, lift him up, and then bisect him, and then move on to the next one.
13.
Does not beat their armor class.
14, I'm assuming.
Does a 15 does not beat yours though. Yeah, you keep on like missing these pretty big swings, and then they come and they hit you, and
It just does nothing.
Please give me another roll. If you just want to roll both of these rolls now, yeah. Yeah, the latency has gotten worse. I don't know why, but we're recording it. That's all that matters.
First one is a 23. That's actually a crit.
Nice. So when you roll double damage.
And then second one does not hit. 7 plus 2. That is a total of 9. And then 9, 18 total times 2. I'm not going to take the more rolls on that one.
One guy comes up and you like slice him through the gut, and then as another man's approaching, you shove him back and pierce the second man too and kill both of them, slicing out. You look around, Ardos has a pretty big head wound that he's bleeding from. He has lost his sword, but he is now using wildling axes he's dual wielding. And he slices one man's head, decapitates another, and then throws the axe, taking out a third guy in like 5 seconds before a large red wildling comes out of nowhere, slamming him, picking him up and slamming him on the ground. They begin to scuffle. The wildling goes, "Father Killer, I will end you here today." And he puts his big hands around the head as Ardos is trying to hit at him with it.
I'm going to rush as quickly as I can at this person and attempt to tackle him. I am willing to take damage to tackle him harder.
Make an athletics check with advantage flat, and you can get another set of advantage if you want to take 1d10 bludgeoning damage.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I'll roll both of those at the same time.
So, 3. You get normal advantage, you're on 3.
I'm going to take 10 damage.
Oh!
What's the endurance?
Ain't no maester to be on the wall. Strength for athletics.
Okay. So plus 2. So 13 first roll. That was so close to a nat 20. It legitimately went on the edge, and then it switched to a 14.
That's crazy.
16 is my highest so far. 16.
Okay. Yeah. You slam into him, and when you slam him on the ground, you feel something give in his gut, but he begins punching at you. You can't see what Ardos is doing because you're still engaged with him. But you see he's stabbing at you with a bloody knife. And as you slam, you kind of slammed at a bad angle. You feel the pain shoot up. You just hurt, but Ashton, your arm went out of its socket when you slammed down and you're fighting with him. We're gonna roll opposing athletics checks now. You're trying to not get the knife in you that he's going at you.
Can I... This is going to sound real stupid, but I think it's a good character decision. Can I purposely fail each of those checks just to choke him the entire time?
Yeah, you can make while he's making an attack on you, you'll make an attack on him. And because you're not trying to dodge it, you'll have advantage and keep him out.
Natural 20.
Yeah, so he's like popping off your steel plate, and as he goes for one big one, you use the trick you did earlier where you slam it back and then hold his hand down. You slam his head back over and over. With big steel plate gauntlets, so each time like your hand slips, it probably cuts his throat a little, and you're just slamming him down. He's like spits blood up, hitting you in the face, and he goes, "Your people will never be our people."
I'm going to. I assume his hair's long.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I grab his hair and I'm going to just cut his head entirely off with my sword,
Yeah. So
if I can.
no, yeah, you're holding his knife blade down. You using all of your energy, bring your foot forward and slam it, so you're like straddling him on the hand. Hold his hair back, and then grab your sword by the middle on the blade, so it probably slices your hand open, and you just cut it open as blood spurts, and you kind of fall backwards into the snow. You have killed Ardos Redson.
Ardos was fighting Ardos.
Nope. Arson. Arson Redson. You do that, and you turn back, and Ardos has not got up, and he has a lot of blood leaking from his belly. And he just sits there laughing like, you did good.
I'm gonna rush over and begin trying to hold pressure.
Put pressure on there. Your hands are so cold, though, you cannot feel your hands, so you're doing the best you can. You look around. There are still a decent amount of men left. Wildlings. The Stark wall has maintained, only because they are not going forth and helping, which is what Ardos commanded. But more and more wildlings are winning over their northerner opponents.
I am going to attempt to, with my dislocated shoulder, pick Artos up and drag him on my back.
And that's to make an athletics check. Due to everything going on, you will have disadvantage.
Let me
Your
not
shoulder,
use
his gut, the cold, you just fought war in a battle. Also, just roll a 3d6 real quick to see the amount of wildlings you killed.
3d6. This is not the right one.
That's something I've been doing forever. Just roll a general amount because you guys are heroes and you're in a war. You're fighting cavemen with steel.
9.
9. So you counting the cramming men wildlings you killed earlier. You killed 20 wildlings, 4 mountain clansmen, and then arson rates, and the wildling you killed earlier. So I can add that as 21. So you've killed 26 people in like a week. Okay. Yeah.
And then I need to roll
Disadvantage.
6.
You give all your might, and you both him and you scream in pain. You cannot use your left arm basically at all. So you like push your left arm on his gut and then grip his shirt and try to like haul him over your shoulder, and you're able to get it for a little bit and walk before both of you fall. You hear heavy footsteps approaching. You see this large wildling with a battle axe approaching you as you like hold your arm and you kind of go for your sword.
Yeah, I'm just gonna pick up my sword. I'm going to be holding it backwards specifically to try and like hold myself up, and I force myself up with the blade while it's falling into the ground. So it's probably not helping me as much as I think it is.
You like stab it and then put your weight to go forward, and it kind of makes you fall again, and you have to do it in a second way as he's just slowly approaching with this giant axe with a blade made of black oily rock.
And then as I as he is walking towards me, Corliss is going to begin reciting his knight's oath.
Yeah. So you slam your fist in the ground and and then we see a shot of you inside the steel plate. Half of the screen's bloody. You're in your helmet. Your own
Duncan shot.
Yeah. That's everything. Father. Lift yourself up. It's like echoing, and it comes in and out as the winds are blowing when this giant guy, probably 6'5", is approaching. Roll an attack.
It has not felt cold in this room until this moment.
It is a White Walker. I'm going home.
God fucking damn it. It did the same thing. It was on 20, and then it went over to 8. 8 plus 2. Oh, it's an attack. 12. Doesn't hit.
I was going to do how many words in Corliss? 8. But it's 7.
I always...
7.
6?
No, okay, so I'm going to cut off what you were saying. He comes and swings his sword down heavily, or his battle axe, and you have to move to block it. You, with your dominant hand, you're holding the sword backwards, and you lift your arm up, so it breaks against your chest, And you guys are moving back and forth before a spear gets shoved through the back of his head and it breaks off through his weights falling down. And 14 or 15-year-old Orson Wainwood is there. Sir! The body falls heavy.
Corliss is going to like force the helmet off of his head, and just throw it to the side. He doesn't care about it. And he looks at Orson and he looks at Artos. How does Artos look on the ground? Is that a
Turn back.
perception?
You can just tell he's squeezing his eyes shut in pain. And he's taking slow breaths.
Corliss is going to command Orson to help get him onto his back.
This man with a dislocated shoulder and this 15-year-old lift up this giant guy.
Probably trying holding him in between the two of them.
You guys begin moving as this little trio. Please give me a flat athletics check. Remember, guys, if you go have a dislocated shoulder, just get a 15-year-old to help you bench press.
Natural 1.
You know, you guys plop down as blood spurts out, and everyone is sitting there wounded. Orson is. You have also fallen now, and Orson is looking between both of you, kind of looking like he might have to choose who he is going to help.
Corliss is going to take his sword out of its scabbard. And he's going to hand it to Orson. Find your way back. Bring them here. I am trusting you with this.
And you look, and it seems like the borders have been pushed back by the force of the Wild Army. He goes, "Yes, sir."
And he gives him the sword.
And that boy just goes off, and both of you just sit there.
And then Corliss is going to try for the second time to make a fire on the side of this battlefield. I assume they're a little bit in the forest at this point, trying to hide themselves
in this thick brush. So
And then this is just going to be a wisdom check, I guess.
Survival, yeah. If you don't have proficiency, then wisdom, yes.
Oh, an 18.
You look at a discarded torch that they had used for their flames earlier, and there's like this thick black goop on it. And you look at the branches that are dried in this area because they're obscured from the snow, and you begin to slam, and you take your little knife and you eventually, we see from afar, we shot a tiny fire begin to start in the woods. Back in King's Landing, Tagon is running through the streets looking, what was Tagon doing?
Tagon was looking for the room that they were taken in.
Oh, yeah. So Tagon goes to that room.
Or he's going wherever you thought he was going before.
Make an investigation check as you go to this just playing room. Things are discarded, but you can't tell if it's from the wrestling they said they were doing or if it's from a kidnapping. Make an investigation or a perception check.
I believe I have perception, but let me... Yes, perception. Four.
Yeah, you're able to look and you're not able to.
Since
find.
This is gonna be a little bit of a stretch, and I just need to level with you with that before I say it. Since Tagon has been in this room and seen how these children played, would he not have advantage because he would know what toys they actually play with?
You can add a D12.
I told you it was a stretch. At least I'm being honest with you, okay?
I need to help you out because you're a solo PC.
This is a D12, right?
Nah, it's that guy.
12.
So what's the final one?
16.
That's what I think.
I'm free from work and I didn't have to work 11, nearly 12 hours. Hell yeah, brother.
That's always a good day when that happens. Yeah, you look around the room and you are able to see that
this commotion does seem like it's not been caused by kids playing. It seems like it's more direct. You see that there's like a trail of scuff marks in a direction, and that door is cracked open right now.
I'm going to head towards
Go up
that.
and slide it open, and you come face to face with a Kingsguard who has his blade out. He's like, "Fuck, what are you doing?" It's a Rob Ray, who is the ginger, probably 25. Kingsguard.
I'm searching for where they went. I assume it's this way now that I've gotten here.
I was looking around and I found one of the East Wing gates were head open, and I figured the city was too big, so I came this direction to see if it could have been. And I
Wrong way, and he's gonna start heading past him as you were talking.
Runs past with you. Yeah, you guys both run off. He goes, I don't think we've met. I'm Rob. Sir Rob.
It's Bulric. I almost said Tagon. My name's Tagon? Huh? My name's Bulric. I'm here with Aegon. I'm helping with some of the brewery stuff, but 100,000 dragons is worth a lot more.
Yeah. Yeah, you have a rushing. Make an investigation check as we run through the streets of King's Landing.
Investigation check. That's going to be intellect 13 flat.
So you're able to run. You eventually do see only like 100 feet away. There is a large mound of clear space on the ground with snow surrounding it. It looks like there is an item here, like a carriage probably. And then there is big tracks rushing off. The stripped snow looks fresh. It's still like settling.
Do we see anybody near us or any horses near us?
Make a perception check.
I'm gonna ask him that as I'm looking around for the horses. So if he wants to make one too, I'm trying to use whatever I have. Okay. Perception. That is going to be a +1. Did I use? I think I used this one. It's a lower, so I'll just take it. 12.
12. As you were looking at that, you like voice your thoughts and you look, and Rob goes, "I'll be right back," and he rushes off. Is there anything you do in like the 30 seconds he's gone?
I just begin inspecting the tracks to see if I can tell what kind of carriage it is.
Yeah. Make a secondary investigation check.
None of those fit. That is going to be a 16.
A 16. You do find a tiny detail. That detail being at the bottom of my notes. You find, like, as you look through the snow, a tiny gilded antler. It looks like it was broken off of a larger end.
I pocket it.
Pocket it. Add that if you want to remember it. And then Rob returns riding on a horse that he maybe got from a gold cloak, maybe not.
It is A&W root beer. Someone asked what the root beer was.
He rides back with the horse and like saddles it next to you, doing it by the reins. And as you go to hop on, he's already riding off. Give me an animal handling check.
All right, animal handling. I be handling animals.
Huh? I'll be animal and handling.
That's 19. Plus, what is it, wisdom?
Wisdom, yes.
So that's going to be an 18.
You guys rush off riding very fast. You eventually come to like a two-way dividend down this central corridor. Do you want to bolt off in a direction or make a perception check to see if you
Perception.
You do that, and Rob goes off in a direction without receiving, so he goes off.
That is going to be an 18.
An 18, Rob did go in the correct direction.
Follow on after.
You're a couple paces behind now. He takes like some more aggressive turns. Are you following him outright, or are you going to try to take a more conservative path that could yield different results?
I check each time.
Okay.
To see if I can tell which way.
So make a perception.
Can I have advantage on subsequent since I know what these tracks look like and I know exactly what I'm looking for?
Yeah.
I think that makes sense. Especially since I've gotten really high every time. That's going to be a 17.
Put the camera a little bit behind.
And then the last one's a 10.
A
If I had to make multiple.
10. Yes, you're running 2 more. So good prediction. It looks ass now. I apologize. I will leave it how it was and then continue. Hate it. Awesome. Yeah. Rob does not seem like he's slowing down. It could be because he is aware of these streets, but he is taking the correct paths. And eventually, you're like 20 feet behind him. You come and you do see a carriage that's bolting down the road for some reason during the middle of this winter.
Am I able to catch up with him before we reach the carriage?
Make an animal handling check. Otherwise, he will reach the carriage and then you will.
That's going to be...
You rolled this guy?
No, I rolled.
Okay.
That's a D12.
That's a.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
was like, getting rid of 8 possibilities for a higher roll. Would you do that? Jake or somebody.
Yeah, that's just going to be a 13.
If it wasn't him. 13, you're getting closer, but you're not able to get up directly. Rob swings with this overhead sword. There's 2 riders, both of them with their faces covered. He swings, and the first one falls. Rob's not able to make contact. He just falls and goes down beside you. Do you want to do anything?
Am I able? I want to try and jerk the horse so that it's right behind the carriage and they can't see me due to the blind spot.
Yeah. Make an animal handling check.
Hey, what kind of carriage? Is it an overhead covered carriage, or is it just open back?
It's
2 kids sitting that we can
more
see.
of a wagon.
Okay.
Yeah, which do exist. I'm using the term carriage, but wagons do exist. It's enclosed with doors on the side.
Cool.
Especially because it was probably a royal wagon stolen from King's Landing or the Red Keep. We see that in House of the Dragon and some in Game of Thrones, Olena's and Alicent's, like a van, a bulletproof van equivalent. And as you get closer, you do see that there is a big cloth tied around the outside of the door, and there's some banging on it, making it come out slightly. If you want to target that cloth, or you could target the wheels, you could target the last guy, or you could hide like you're doing.
I'm going to get up behind it, and then I'm going to try and jump onto the back of the carriage.
Yeah, make an acrobatics check. Brother.
You ever played GTA 5?
That's like Red Dead Redemption when you can jump on the left.
The game where it makes more sense, not the yacht mission. GTA 5. Natural 20.
Your boat sure is moving fucking fast. And you ride up and slam on and grip it where you barely slide on the ice. The guy doesn't seem to notice. He's just whipping the thing.
He's finally using his way to die. That's what it seems like. Because legitimately, half every session I play, I roll 8s and 9s, which is fine. It's not awful.
I use these die when I DM for Halcyon, so if they're weighted, I get them. I don't believe they're weighted. Yeah, you slam on and the guy doesn't seem to notice. He's kind of moved to the side now after the guy fell off, and he's just whipping aggressively.
Okay. I am going to attempt.
You can't just go over. The entrances are on either side.
Can I? Is there any way to crawl into the main carriage from the back?
You do see that there is a tiny, breathable thing with a slide in front of it, like a mesh cloth.
Can I want to look inside just to see if there's anybody in there with them.
Break the ice and pry it open, and there's 2 kids in there. The oldest one with short dark hair is pounding on the door, and the other one's hiding in the corner. 10, 12-year-old.
I'm gonna tap on the mesh.
The oldest one turns. The youngest one's crying. He's looking down. Jaehaerys and Duncan turns.
I'm going to pull the Valyrian steel dagger that I have on me, and I'm going to push it through the mesh, and I'm going to gesture. I'm going to do this, and then...
telling them to cut it.
Yeah.
Duncan picks it up. He's only 12, but he is a fan of swordistry and things like that. So yeah, he picks it up and he confidently walks up and pries it open. Jaehaerys is a small boy for his age. Duncan could probably not fit in here, but Jaehaerys probably could. Yes.
I'm at the door on the side.
No.
I was gonna make them cut the thing that I could just cut in that moment.
Yeah, he goes over and he slices it open, and the door slams open from the wind. The guy, you don't know if he notices, And then Duncan's just kind of.
I'm gonna yell jump into the window, and I'm going to jump off.
Onto the ground?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do I take any damage?
yeah, you'll take, make a dexterity, make an acrobatics check.
Saving throw?
No, there's only.
Oh, you're right.
And then.
10. You're fucked.
Duncan picks up Jaehaerys, and the trajectory of Westeros changes as they're both killed. No, I got double nat ones. So they're not dead, but they're not great. They jump out, and you jump off to the side and skid, and Duncan takes the brunt, but they slam and skid and slide for quite some time, especially their lighter bodies on the ice.
As soon as I'm off, I'm walking forward to try and catch up with the wagon, and then I see them fall, and I follow after them.
Slides like into the snow and slams against the outside of a wall, and Duncan skids and bounces off a barrel, and Duncan's holding his leg and trying to get up, and Jaehaerys is not moving. And Rob and the rider, due to the intensity of the storm, does not seem to have noticed. They both continue.
I am going to run over to Jaehaerys specifically and pick him up and grab him.
He's all up.
I'm holding him, and then I walk over to Duncan and I ask him, "Can you walk?"
Yeah.
I'm Tagon. Just come on. And he's gonna hold him by the shoulder, making him limp with him. As he's carrying this boy and walking the child, and they're gonna try and get back to his horse. Wherever, if he can, they're gonna walk down the road and see if they can see the horse.
You come to the horse, and he's like, he cantered after you jumped off, and he was just like nervously walking the roads, terrified of the temperature.
I'm going to throw Duncan and Jaehaerys onto the horse, and then I'm just gonna walk them with me on the horse as I'm walking.
Make an endurance check to walk back to the ring.
That other guy fell off his horse, didn't he?
Yes.
Okay.
What?
I was just seeing if we saw it on the way. I would get on that horse.
I will. If you want to before you do that, make a perception check. He did not fall off the horse. There was two guys on the carriage. One of them fell off. Rob on his horse and continued after. So you might find the guy. So we could use that for you.
Oh. That's gonna be 12.
You don't find the guy. Just an endurance check, please.
Oh, sorry. 15. I forgot that I was not playing Corliss.
Never found. You do find where he fell and skidded. There's a large path in the snow and some footsteps going away from the Red Keep.
We keep walking. Okay, endurance. 4.
You lose consciousness. Going back to this. So elsewhere within the Seven Kingdoms, Baelish is leading an expedition to get, along with the Forester men and Xander, the only other Vale Knight, a handful left. They're trying to get the supplies that Edward Stark is giving to Jesper Aaron back to the Vale Baron. And we cut to them as you slam onto the ground. The footsteps of the horses that are being led there go down through the Vale. The wind gnaws at the folds of the cloaks of a large group of riders. It whips at the cloth the caravan has covering the carriages of food and other supplies. Snow scours the hills like sand and Dorne. The mountains of the Vale loom large in the distance through the white blur, jagged in silence as if waiting to receive the party. Baelish rides at the head of the column, his mount stumbling over hidden rocks and icy ruts. The banners of the Forester men, which are a white tree, if I remember correctly, snap in the storm, flapping like wings of ravens and falcons. Behind him, the clatter of hooves and armor is muffled by the storm's roll. Beside him, Xander sways in his saddle, his eyes unfocused, lips blue. Baelish rides closer and keeps a firm hand on his old friend's shoulder strap. Hold on, brother. Focus. Keep your eyes open.
This don't matter.
It matters.
The snow hides the road as much as any steep drop off. If you drift off, it'll be the last thing you ever know. You have a boy at home.
Don't trust him.
What?
The Forester men.
Speak clearly, lad. You mean they'll betray us?
They're leading us into a trap. If we fall, the snow takes us. They'll leave us.
We'll make sure the snow doesn't take us, you hear me? You ride, and you breathe. You keep that mind on the path ahead.
You don't see it. We need to act.
Xander's hand twitches towards his mace, though he can barely grip it. Against who? The men who haven't harmed you yet? You'd see your brother starve in the era just to kill a fear that isn't true.
Don't want to die.
None of us do. None of us. But dying for naught is the worst type of death, brother. Focus, Xander. Look at me. Keep your eyes open and keep your reins tight. Ride like you mean to survive. Baelish leans forward and scans the snow for safe footing. Hear me, lad. We'll reach the Eyrie. Every man alive, every man breathing, because you ride with me, and I'll not let the snow take you. You trust me?
I trust Baelish.
That's enough. Ride on. The snow is endless, but our will is stronger.
Thank you, brother.
A horse whinnies loudly and collapses as it loses its footing, sliding down a hill and spinning. The rider screams, but the screams quickly vanish. Xander moves his mount's reins, backing up from the rest of the caravan slowly.
What? Baelish!
We are fine, Xander. He turns to a Forester. Boy, we need to retrieve that soldier.
Are you crazy?
Baelish looks back and sees that both the horse and the man are far away and unmoving. 7 hells. Baelish turns his horse back to Xander, who has unclasped his mace and is holding it. Baelish freezes, and Xander is staring at the ground.
It's happening. You should choose your side, old friend.
Xander, no. Look at me. A loud, chaotic sound comes from far away. Everyone turns besides Xander, who is focused on the ground as his horse moves back and forth nervously. Snow runs from one of the nearby mountains, glowing and growing as an avalanche begins. Turn! Ride! The riders begin to turn the caravan as fast as they can. One rider approaches Xander and Baelish quickly, a Forester man.
Sirs, we must...
He is cut short by Xander, cracking his skull open with a quick swing of his mace as he rides up. It takes most of the energy from Xander, and Xander falls off his horse. No, sorry, the man falls off his horse with his face split open. The man's horse runs off, and the corpse being dragged by a stirrup and hitting the ground.
He was going to hurt us.
No, he was fucking not. Xander does not respond. Xander, drop the mace. Xander. The avalanche grows closer.
I saved us.
Xander. Baelish unsheaths his blade. Drop it. Xander does not. Baelish rides closer and takes a swing, attempting to knock the mace from his hand. Xander uses all of his effort left to swing as well, but he falls from his horse. His mount moves unexpectedly, and Baelish slices the horse's neck. Shit! Both Xander and the horse fall down a snowy hill. The avalanche grows closer, and Baelish turns to see the caravan fleeing. He breathes in slowly. I'm sorry, Corliss. He rides down the hill in pursuit of Xander's rolling body. Yeah. So, in the north.
Sucks for him.
In the north, you are holding Ardos's guts in as you are sitting near a small dying flame. The sound of battle continues on. It's been an hour, maybe. Ardos is leaning back and forth.
Is this all we expect? I have not heard much of your accomplishments or how great of a man you are. But people speak so highly. If you are what I should attempt to be, then what is the purpose?
Shut the fuck up and help me. And he grabs a root and begins to try to lift. You're doing it definitely. Make an athletics check with advantage.
Natural 20. You watch that too. That's cocked. It'd be really funny if 15.
No, you lift him, and you guys begin to stumble from the forest. Just then you hear a and a loud horn rings out. So you look left and riders move forward. Riders wearing pink with a sigil of a skinless man with blood leaking from him, in addition to one in the front who is wearing the white of Forrester. You guys move forward as the hammer drops, led by Robar Bolton and Gregor Forrester as they come in. You see the wildlings panic. One wildling turns with a big hammer that is just a rock padded onto a handle and goes and comes at you guys panicked. Both of you are going to work together to make attacks because both of you are injured. So you make an attack and you just make one.
No, why am I using that one? I want to use the other one. That is going to be an 11.
Yeah, you swing wide and he hits your sword with a hammer that like slices a chunk off, but it's enough to pull you to the ground. Ardos breathes in painfully and just lets go of his guts to tackle him to the ground, and he pins him down, struggling and like thumbing his eye, popping it. Make another attack with advantage.
Oh, that was supposed to be with advantage? I'm stupid.
The first one was not with advantage.
Okay.
This one will be with advantage because Ardos is grappling him. Each of you just made attacks on him.
Good thing I had advantage. It's going to be an 11.
Well then, now roll something. No.
I saw that.
You come up and Ardos, like, with the thumb and eye, lifts his head so you can come up and just lop it off. And he goes, shit. And he looks down and the little bloody stuff is leaking. His intros are all on the ground and he's still talking. Come here! Tell Robar we can't let word of this get out. We just had a wild invasion. All these deaths, all these men. It was the winter. It was the winter.
It always is.
He collapses dead. You do you want to make a medicine check? I'll say with advantage, imbued by the Lord's death, to slam your arm back into your socket.
Yeah.
Cool.
Medicine check, you said? Or is endurance?
You can do medicine using intelligence, or you can do endurance. The DC will be higher, but I probably recommend it because you have amazing endurance.
Rather than trying to do it the right way, he just knows if this goes far enough right here, it will go back.
Depending on this, you might have limited mobility the rest of your life because it's not in there properly. It's just jammed. But let's see how it goes.
Endurance. Natural 1.
So what's that total, big man?
7.
Big man.
Well, it's endurance, so it is a plus 8.
Okay, big man.
9 total.
Fine. Slightly below average.
I can always try again.
You
uh,
you stand and breathe and just drop to the floor using your full weight. You hear a sickening the sound of like a sound you only associate with
Tendons.
death snapping, and you fall to your back and you can move your fingers. You probably do take 1 point of damage as you spit and you get back up. You see a few wildlings attempting to flee to the wood line. Past to the left. So if you're looking at the warfare straight, forward is Starkman fighting the wildlings. The bowmen are coming in. The left is this giant lake that's frozen that you see wildlings get on and crack. The right is this forest you're at the opening of, and like 5 wildlings are coming at you. Can I get 5 attacks as you just start preparing to cut them down?
First one is going to be a 19.
Hits. You kill him.
Okay.
Don't need that name.
That's cocked. I was going to be an 18, though, so I'm really pissed.
Just roll the 5 now, also. So 4 them. And then if you fail,
18.
does not fail.
Natural 1. 22. And this is the last one?
Correct.
Cocked. That's going to be a 6.
Okay. So I'm going to 2 attacks on you.
I saw that. That's not very
The
good.
lower one does not hit. But this guy, so you come and the first guy comes up to you with a big swing and you just lift your sword up, and then you stab into the other one, then decapitate the other one. The other guy comes up, and you slice his knee out, and as he turns, you pull your sword to the neck and just slit his throat. And then you go swing at this last gentleman. I'm so polite. This last wildling, as he comes up with a large, like, kukri type weapon to stab up into your gut. You take 4 points. Reduced. Your armor reduces piercing by 1d4, doesn't it? I believe it does.
Reduce slashing damage by 1d4. Wow.
So he did 4 damage.
2.
Okay, it's 2 damage. It kind of skids and slices a little bit, and you just like break his forearm and like holding him up, just drive your sword through his gut. A rider comes up to you wearing that pink like ring mail and goes, "Where's the Lord Arnos?"
He's just gonna turn and point at the body across the field.
Fuck. You with me? And he turns his horse and like helps you up. And he just rides, letting you slice at. You kill 5 more men. He just drive-bys them.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And as the last guy's running and you just approach with a swing, we cut to another person running. Please describe the new character you are playing right now, who is just hunting in the Riverlands.
There is a slightly shorter looking man, a little bit more thin than most of the warriors you would see. He has a green cloak over his head. You can barely just see some black hairs poking through. Not black. What did we? Black. Oh, okay, that's right. So
black or brown is applicable. Probably more likely brown.
Some few strands of very greasy-looking black hair coming out of the hood itself, but it's more of a shroud as it covers every other part of clothing on the person, pretty much obscuring what they look like almost entirely, for the time being.
Make a survival or perception check as you were just hunting for any food you can find during this mission.
Natural 1.
Man, you have literally hunted your whole life, so you should have had it from the start. Very fun.
You said survival?
Survival or perception. Before you do that, very fun lore here. Jack Vance. This is related, I promised you. Jack Vance is a fantasy author who pretty much invented sword and sorcery fantasy. So like The Witcher or Conan the Barbarian. Usually it's either sword sorcery or sorcery, like Harry Potter doesn't have much fighting. Jack Vance is said to have been the father of combining those. And he was a big guy in D&D and fantasy. Vecna is named after Jack Vance. Vecna being an anagram of Vance.
12. I heard. Yeah.
So yeah, Jack Vance, very big fantasy author. We are right next to the house of we are next to the lands of House Vance of Achantra. Vance, named after Jack Vance.
Oh, that's fun.
So Vecna's right here, is what I'm saying. What did you get? You said 13?
12.
12. You're hunting, and you are able to find a small running rabbit. It's the first movement you've seen all day. You've been out here all day. The Riverlands, much more like mush and gray mush, and instead of thick snows or the ice of out at sea, you're just in shitty weather. Not actually not snow here, actually.
Does my character have a bow on them?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I'm sorry, I didn't know you do your story.
Nope.
You got a bow, you got arrows, you got a dagger.
Okay. I was like, oh, maybe it'll be given to me in the session, and then no.
You have a bow. It was.
I knock an arrow.
Yeah.
It was my fault. I
No,
made the character way too late.
Make a range tackle. Let me stop skimming.
This is gonna be plus. Okay. Plus 7. And over 20. That's gonna be 21.
That's the cute fucking thing. Yeah, you're able to get a tiny rabbit as you pull your arrow out, and you're just able to pop them in your pack. Because the temperature will keep him chilled.
Yeah.
After you do that, make a perception check, please.
Oh my gosh. No longer a negative perception check.
And do you have a mount, or are you just trekking? If you have a mount,
16, no mount.
No mount. You see far, far, far away. 16. a tiny village at the corner of your mind, and it's emitting light. It looks like it's very far and on fire. But you also know you're currently pretty damn far from where you're supposed to be. Make a history check with, you just know. There is one of the largest just villages. It's not ruled by a house. It's ruled by septs. I believe it's a sept, so it's ruled by some religious, but it's pretty open to everybody. One of the largest villages in the Seven Kingdoms that's not
Directly ruled.
government is the Stony Sept, which connects the reach to the Riverlands. It looks like it's on fire.
I begin heading that way.
And you trek off in that way. We see a quick 2-minute scene of this person, and then go off, and we're back in King's Landing. You come to consciousness, your head pounding. A little maester assistant, so probably a teenager, is like checking over you as you start to wake. And sorry, Lord Gerald is in whatever room you're in. Some men are frostbitten, and they're getting treated by some other assistants. And Gerald is talking to one of the assistants, and he goes, "Listen, I just need to find Aegon. We did not find the children, but we were able to find the cart. One of the people from my land, Rob Rain, who graciously was able to find him, and several other gold cloaks who come generously from the Westlands. I feel we might be endowed." And the door swings open, kind of waking you up. And Duncan is entering the room. He's like, "Bulwark." He comes, and you lift up your head pounding, and the maester's assistant goes, "He looks like he's fine, sir. A little cold, but we wrapped him up." And you look down, and you kind of like swaddle. And Jared goes, "Sir Duncan, I feel paramount. I speak to the king. We found the..." And Duncan goes, "We found the kids." And leaves. "But my knight!" Fuming, you head off, and you get brought to Aegon. And Maester Hobart is there, and he is tending to a sprained ankle. And Jaehaerys is like sitting with a ton of blankets, sipping on some tea. He seems fine. He might have just lost consciousness.
Tag is going to walk up to the table, almost mournfully, and is going to go, I'm sorry about what happened. I tried to get them here without being hurt. I'm sorry."
You feel a tiny thing hug you, and you look down, and Amalia is there. And you look over, and the women are also here. And then once you look back at Jaehaerys is hugging you. Your cousin and your sister, and you, the most Targaryens you've ever seen, and they seem for the most part happy. And Aegon's like, they're fine for the most part. And he comes and like hugs Duncan, who like winces. His foot's pretty purple, but Mr. Hobart is applying an ointment to it. The only person not like family in the room is Sir Steveron, the Master of Laws, and he's talking to Aegon, and he says, "I know that you do not want to talk about this right now, but I have a theory about what this could have been." And Aegon lifts his hand and goes, "Your theory can last till tomorrow. Thank you for your help in organizing this, but you must go now, Sir Steveron." Steveron nods and exits.
Right as the door closes behind him, Tagon is going to look over at Egg and say, "I know you just said it's not a good time for politics and conspiracy, but..." And he's going to pull the broken antler and throw it on the table. "I found this at where the carriage picks the boys up."
He gingerly takes it, and he looks slowly to Duncan. He just like shakes his head. "Yeah. It must have been stolen or left over or something. Lionel wouldn't do that. Why would he do that? He's trying to keep his people." He just like composes himself. And Aegon just nods and kind of in agreement. "We will talk of this on the morrow." I agree with Duncan. This might be misleading, but we will investigate it. Certainly. Thank you so much.
I did not bring it up to inspire anything. I just was giving you what I found.
Thank you. Now sit and eat. Yes. Yeah, some food gets given to you, and you just sit and eat. Kira is here, who is related to you directly, but Aegon, your uncle, is here. Your sister's here. Your half brother Magor is being bounced. Vela, your cousin, is here.
While
And it's a pretty nice moment, but you can't think of in the back of your head the things you've been reading lately about bastards and their standing.
that's what I was about to bring. Our brains are fucking locked. He's going to be sitting there eating his food, letting everybody speak to each other for a little while. And once the conversation begins to die down, or Aegon is free enough so that he can speak to him, Taegon is going to go, I've been doing some reading on like history and things, and I read a lot about bastards being legitimized and things of that nature. Is that common here, or
Semi-common.
I just for posterity's sake, do you want me to roll deception to try and make him seem less interested than he actually is in that?
Yes.
Because I was definitely making him seem like
Charging your dice fork.
he's a liar. Don't believe him.
I got exactly what he was resting on. For the better or the worse, it worked.
It's gonna be
And
an 18. I got an 8.
Oh god dang. Schemer.
You shouldn't have let me get my hands on this system, bro.
The thing is, you'd be a really good character if you were in a party, because you're a specialist. But you're alone.
He is. This is the perfect situation for a solo character to be in for this character.
It nods and goes, it's common, for example, if no one has any remaining heirs, if through any tragedy their sons and daughters die and they need a heir, it's common for nobility if someone makes themselves grandiose. Longwaters is a house that was founded by a bastard of my blood. It also can cause warfare and havoc. Black fires started as legitimized. The most dangerous thing about being a bastard, from what I've understood from my travels, is the stigma around it. And unfortunately, that doesn't go away much just because someone claims you're of noble birth. But
I see.
It is a concept that gets done.
I hate the idea of being Bulric forever.
And their rewards are quieter now. I understand that. This winter has to be too close soon, and most people here have only seen you with blue hair. If you return, looking Valyrian after the winter is over, there's a possibility. I can tell you're a good man. You care about family, and that's incredibly admirable. I'm not attempting to push this off, but and this is noon after the early mornings. The kids get up and someone died. It has been a very long day.
Yes.
I'm not attempting to push this off at all.
No. It mind wanders.
Of course.
I appreciate all the help you've given me. About that 100,000 dragon. No, I'm kidding. No. Not right now. He would have this conversation before he would take 100,000 dragons, I think.
He goes, I'm going to take Duncan and Jaharis, and Duncan as well, but I'll post gold cloaks outside of your door. I don't think Vela will want to sleep anywhere besides with Trisha. So if it's fine with you, your brother and your cousin could stay here for the night.
I have been very involved. I'm fine with someone watching my door. I would prefer that it was not clear that someone was watching my door. I find myself, if I was attempting to do anything of this magnitude, I would see me as the current main target.
I'll just order some of my household code to wear typical clothing, but with ring mail under. Thank you.
No problem.
And he heads out.
No problem.
Without issue. Everyone kind of sits
With
for a
haste.
and after a bit, Magor gets like fussy, and Kira, who like has big eyes, she's like, she approaches you and just like the first conversation you've had. Are you good with children at all? I desperately need some sleep, and I trust you.
Yes, I took care of my sister for a long time. And he's gonna take her.
Your half brother is an Aryan son, Magor. And he has, if I recall, he has all white hair with a thin streak of black. Similar, the inverse of your guys'
Valar.
brother, Valar. Yes. And you grab him, and he kind of immediately calms down. And as you look back, Kira is passed out on this large bed that Vela and Amalia are sleeping on in different areas. And he just like,
I'm just gonna take a seat somewhere and just sit. If there's a book in the room, I'm gonna try and look through it. He's not much of a reader though, so he's not gonna be paying much attention to it.
back in the road to the Vale, Xander is riding, or Baelish is riding through the snow. Xander calling out. A mace swing gets thrown, and it strikes Baelish's horse square in the heart as it. And Xander, or Baelish gets thrown from the horse, bringing his blade out. And Xander is holding the mace as if it's a knife in front of him, and he's shaking. And he goes, "You're with them. The mountain clansmen. You and Jasper dead." And Baelish goes, "Old friend." And he approaches him. Can you please roll for Baelish and add 1d8? Or add 8. Sorry, add the modifier 8.
That is going to be a 14.
Please roll 2d8 damage.
This is D8. Yeah, this is 8.
Yeah, double pyramid. Double pyramid.
It's going to be 1. You said 2D8?
Yes.
4. One of those gets plus 8.
Yes.
So 9 plus
13.
4, 13.
Xander approaches and goes for a big overhead swing, and Baelish just sadly cuts at his stomach, and as Xander drops it, he drives it through his heart very quickly, attempting, and then pulls it out, and then goes in his gut and just attempting to quickly kill Xander. And Xander, his eyes go empty, and Baelish pulls his sword out and drops him. He's like, "You fucking idiot." And he sees it clearly now as he's so close to Xander. The wound he suffered at some point had opened along the drive, and it's large, and it looks like
Swelling out of it.
Yes. And like burst, and a tiny cut got did by Baelish at some point, and it's just spurting blood for a long time. And he looks around, and Baelish is alone, horse dead. Xander's horse is dead, and Xander's dead, and he's just like the side of a bluff, snowing harder and harder. Away from there, the war in the north is finished. They're sat there. The snow also seems to have lessened. You're sitting on like a log, and someone attends to you. And Robar Bolton, who you find out later, or you're now finding out was the guy that helped you up, comes up to you. He seems like he has like a thin, gaunt face. He's probably mid-40s, though he looks a decade younger or older, depending on how the light catches him, and he has thick, greasy hair. He takes off his pink steel plate helmet that has like unique blood-dropping engravings, and he goes, "I asked the men, you were the last one to speak to Artos. I'm sorry, but did he say... I've known that man since we were boys. Did he say anything?"
He trusted me with not allowing these beasts to kill anyone else. They will die. Not enough.
A handful of wildlings. Be gone, boy. And the guy attending you just walks off, and he kneels down. They killed his brother, William. Ardos never recovered. He felt ashamed his entire life. There's maybe 50 men remaining here, men loyal to me, men loyal to him. wishing to have anybody of what occurred here today. I believe he would.
Oh, I forgot. I forgot completely.
I believe that's what he would want.
Yes. He mentioned that as well.
It's a shame that the memories will be remembered as men who died unknown or to the winter or to starvation. But you can ask any of these dead men once you meet them again, or you can ask any of them. They'll be fine with it. House Bolton trusts Lord House Stark. We are their brothers.
Don't the Starks often send supplies to the wall?
I was hoping you'd ask that. Move down a little bit. The Lord Commander, Jack. He was Lord Commander 9 years ago or so when they came through the first time before the winter. I want to go ask him how this happened. Would you like to accompany me?
Yes, absolutely.
We have a schedule to send up to the wall next month. I think we'll go ahead of that.
Okay. If it would be possible, I would prefer we take a carriage. I require some time to recuperate.
We can ride with the supplies, yes. Oh boy. Yeah, you guys. He helps you off, and tons of corpses that will be once the snow ends, and once the wolves pick them apart, and once any wildling cannibals come back to eat them, or once the crows pick at them. By the time it thaws, bones on the ground. And you guys limp off, or he helps you limp off. You take. He was a very gentle.
But
Yes.
then, right before, if that's how we're gonna go to the next beat, the next part, as Sir Bolton is helping Corliss up, he's gonna go. I wonder if the dragon is enjoying sleeping with his horde back in the Rad Keep. And then it switches to.
No, yeah, I love that. Do you think Corliss is not the biggest fan of House Targaryen? His father fought for the.
He's not a big fan of Jasper Aaron. So if he was not a big fan of Jasper Aaron, he's not going to be a big fan of
the king.
the Targs in
Jasper
general.
Serves.
I would see him as being like a
Anti-establishment kind of fellow.
A first men holds them to an extremely high standard. Like, oh, this is who should be here.
And the Valyrian Targaryens spit in the face of that.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah, you.
Which is why his father probably joined the Black Lives Matter. I didn't say shit.
Possible prequel. No, your father's story is very interesting, and you know barely anything about it. And one of the only men who. There's two men who do know, Jasper and Baelish. And neither of them are really inclined to share any of that information. Why would, after the first Blackfire Rebellion happened and they got smashed royally, why would you join them?
It was a dumb idea. Just pride. Thinking that you yourself could win that battle.
I mean, if they did succeed, that'd be...
You'd be up there.
That's the idea of why you do support those rebellions. If they succeeded...
You're the guy.
Crazy, yeah. Hand of the king, maybe? Yeah. Or maybe a king. You hear a gentle, it seems like it's midday. Magor's still asleep. You look around as you wake up Kira. And Vela and Amalia are cuddling each other.
I'm going to walk over to Kira and tap her on the shoulder to wake her up.
She does not mom wake up. Be careful.
And I'm going to. I never got the dagger back from the children. Oh, okay. I was like, that's fine. Okay, I'm gonna take the dagger out and hold it behind my hand as I'm I peek around the door and open it.
Open it. It is Azario, who is the guy you hired to search or follow Sir Stefan after he acted weird as hell with Loris lips.
I'm going to say
he doesn't have it all his stuff. He has a hood on, but his verbose face and the beard is you Emilio.
1 second, please. And he's going to close the door. He's going to go put the dagger on the table next to Kira, and then go out.
Who is it?
A friend. Leaving that for you. And then he walks out.
Yeah, you come back out and he's sitting in a chair with a goblet of wine. You don't know where he got it. Is it now a good time to talk?
Yes, absolutely. And what can I do for you? Oh, and I have your gold.
Fantastic.
Oh, I did. Aegon gave me 100 gold, right?
Correct.
I don't know why that's not here. Currently, it just says I have 35 gold.
Weird. Yeah, that's your starting goal from your noble background.
So,
35.
oh, this is good because it's coreless.
Change that.
Let me switch.
I know Corliss.
I'm going to give him 100 gold.
Very generous. Thank you very much. That's fine. A private place to talk. And he leads you to a room and sits his goblet down. During my investigation, I discovered that both Sir Stavron and Sir Loris, their houses are from the Stormlands, and evidently they are close with Lord Lionel Baratheon. I must explain this to you. Humor. Bravosi explaining Westerosi culture to a late Lysini. Both of them are loyal to the Lord of the Stormlands. But whilst investigating, I discovered something a little deeper. It seems that both the Hand of the King, the Master of Law, and the Masters of Coin each are attempting to curry favor with separate parties. Brian Blackwood, the King's brother-in-law, he's been talking more with Ethan Valerian, and he has sent letters to Lords Quentin Tarth, Rupert Longwaters, Peter Plum, and Daryl Martell, So he's bonded with Ethan Valerian, Master of Ships, and Daryl Martell, Master of Whispers, and has sent off letters to Quentin Tarth, Rupert Longwaters, Kristen Feltegar, and Peter Plum.
Kid, would you be able to write this down for me?
Of course.
Just so he doesn't forget,
No, right.
because I know he would.
Each one of these houses has strong, as with the Valerians, or recent Targaryen blood. That is all. And he is Hand of the King, and he is brother-in-law. He is uncle to Duncan, Jaharis, all the princes and princesses. That is all I know of that.
Have you heard of a Stormlandian carriage in town recently?
This would have been something he got a little of. I do know that so I am a bit of a fan of my line of work. My investigation has grown slightly. I will get to that. It seems like Sir Stefan and Sir Loris are loyal to Lionel. It seems that the Hand of the King is conversing with more and more Valyrian houses, but most notably, the Master of Coin, Sir Gerald. Much of the new gold cloaks came to that position because Gerald rode them out here after the winter had started. Additionally, the Lord Commander of the Kingsguard Roland Craighall and Sir Rob Rain are deeply loyal to him. They come from the Westerlands. And additionally, about that, Westerland men, those gold cloaks, brought in several carriages for use after more steel and metal plated carriages and wagons after the old ones had rotted from the wetness from the Westerlands, but also the Stormlands. Lionel sent out a raven accusing them of thievery, that they were not donated, but he did not follow up on it.
Thank you.
I cannot tell what all this means, but this is all what I have discovered. Seems there are many allegiances that the king is unaware of.
Do you make... This is off topic, and if you do not wish to answer this line of questioning, you do not have to. Do you make a large sum doing this?
I make enough to drink wine nightly, lay with women nightly, and eat nightly. That is all I am currently preoccupied with.
Thank you. And he's going to begin getting up.
Yeah, he passes over all the info. I can write it all out for you if you'd like.
Just as long as whenever I talk to Aegon about it, he knows all those details.
You know where to find me. I believe I'll enjoy the warmness of the keep for the next couple of days without anybody knowing. But after that, I will return to my position.
Well, if you need to hide from anybody, this is where my room is, and he's gonna either slide a parchment or just tell him where it is.
Thank you very much, sir.
No problem. You're a good business partner, and he's going to then walk over to Aegon, or head to where Aegon is.
And then you go and probably fall back to sleep on this. Oh no, sorry. You just said
I'm going to
For some
Aegon.
reason, I thought you were saying that the guy was going to Aegon. Ario, and I was like, I don't think you do that. It's Ario. But yeah, you find Aegon. Yeah. You just go to there are 2 Kingsguard posted outside the door. Duncan and Rob Rain.
Hello, Dunk. Hello, Rob. Am I good to go see Your Highness?
Rob casts his phone and is like, I'm unaware of if you would accept intrusions. And Duncan goes, I'm sure it's fine. I'll take the brunt of the rage if it's existent. He goes, of course. And you get let in. They might frisk you for a moment, but you don't have the dagger on you. So you get brought in. And all of the kids are passed out. I don't think you've seen all the kids in one area yet, but Duncan is 12, Jaharis is 10, Shayra is 9, Dayron is 7, and Rael is 5. Just a ton of little babies. And Betha is asleep in the bed, and Aegon is sitting like writing intently with some like deep eye bags just at a desk.
I hope it is not too late, my lord. I would like to ask a few questions. I have information, but I would like to first ask some questions so I can categorize it correctly for you. Am I correct in hearing that the Lannisters have filled most of the positions for Gold Cloaks?
As of recent years, I'd say
the majority.
40%. Which isn't the majority, but
it's still a large.
Yeah. Also, with everybody else regionally, the Westerlands is the majority ethnic makeup. Definitely. Not that that's like a big deal, but it's not a majority, but it's a big sum. And, it's like the United States if it was 5 regions, if 40% were from the South or something. It's a pretty big denominator, yeah. And gold can buy loyalty as well, which is something you know.
Were you aware of a letter that was sent by Lionel Baratheon, who accused certain Gold Cloaks of stealing some of his wagons for use?
I believe Sister from the Master of Laws mentioned something of that sort, but it advised me because he's close childhood friends. Because we met a long time ago. That's irrelevant. Stefan counseled me that he didn't believe I wanted to act, and I agreed. I plan to send him some sum of gold after the winter is over, but currently.
This is not me directing you towards any kind of action, but due to my observations, and I believe your own, or at least what I have told you have been my observations.
He opens a drawer and he pulls out that numbers and starts fiddling with them.
I believe it's not good to trust the word of Sir Stevron Swan anymore. No. I think that Sir Stevron Swan told you to not mind that note, so that you would think it was Lionel doing it now. We saw Gold Cloaks in the room prior to them being taken. What reasoning would there be to assume that Baratheon, Stormlanders, waltzed into the castle, the Red Keep?
Additionally, the Westerlands is Gerald provided a majority of the Gold Cloaks.
I know.
Okay, that's what I thought you knew, but a lot of the Gold Cloaks are Lannister boys, and the Baratheon is the one that you think. Okay.
Yeah.
But I was make sure.
Stormlanders who no one saw, no one believes were in the building, but we do know that there were Gold Cloaks. Have the boys said they saw anything, or
descriptions that match you? They don't know any of the guards closely besides the King's Guard.
But the fact that they are Westerlanders remain.
Yes. So, what are you saying that you think So though we're whispering not to wake the kids, but just so we can be heard, I'm gonna speak normal. You think Gerald and Stefan are working together? They bump heads frequently. What's the Westerland plot in this?
I
I'm
have
shooting
not.
at my children.
These are all things I have not gotten that far. For the kidnapping children, I believe they're trying to drive a wedge between you and the Stormlanders. Otherwise, there's much more to this than either you or I know. I have people talking to other people. I am trying to see what I can find. Um, that is all I have currently. Here's the notes that I have. Uh, it's
Black
taken
looks over them.
it's taken a little while to get all this information. I'm working off of information that everybody else has that I don't. But
You make a good spy master. And he's looking through them. I could understand Gerald. The Lancers.
he's taking credit for this other guy's work, by the way.
The Lancers and the
Sorry.
were never close. But and Gerald's a pop is break. Yeah. But Stefan, he speaks highly of Lionel. I don't know why he would want that.
Why would he ignore a Lord Paramount's claim of theft and counsel you to do so?
I agreed with him. I don't think Lionel would do anything about missing wagons. But perhaps he
But that
ushered
is
me away from that too aggressively. I truthfully had not considered it. I haven't thought of that event in years since the winter started.
I don't know much of this place. I am not sure of much. I am just sure that you have done nothing to cause pain for yourself, of course, and that Duncan has done nothing. And of the children, of course.
Make a check and add your intelligence or wisdom modifier.
That's cocked, you think?
Yes. And add your proficiency bonus too.
18. You said wisdom.
Or intelligence.
It's going to be intelligence because that's +0. And then what was the check for?
I just said add your proficiency bonus. I don't know.
Oh, you said add proficiency
This
bonus.
is
That's
like a
my bad.
logic check.
Unnat 20.
That's funny. And you can add your wisdom or your intelligence modifier, but you have to add one.
I'll do intelligence because it's +0. Wisdom is -1.
You look, and you have no idea what this could mean. You would have to find that out yourself, but there's 2 Duncans. You don't know why a 12-year-old would be responsible for someone's death, but there's 2 Duncans. But you're unsure. That's just a thought that enters your head.
This is not me accusing a boy of murder, of course. That is not where this point is going. But the man who died, I watched die the King's Guard.
I love him.
He just said Duncan, not Duncan the Tall.
Sorry, Dunk. He could have, and he turns to look at his kid who's just sleeping with his foot propped up and bandaged. I would think he'd call him Prince Duncan, but he had a lot protruding from him, did he not?
Yes, he had a piece of wood from the ground.
Perhaps the boy saw something, but he hasn't mentioned anything. He's 12. He's almost a man grown. Awful, sad, but true. For this type of, I'll ask him more once he awakens.
Yes, and this might cause you to think I'm weak, but I would prefer not to be the one to question him. If you could just tell me what he says, that'd be wonderful.
That is quite all right. He's been through a lot. It pains me to look at him. But I'll ask him and see if he recounts anything last time he spoke to Willem, if he saw anything.
And I, of course, don't want the full reward for it. I just, if you could get Amalia a book that she asks for, I would be much appreciated.
Of course. I'll send a handmaid to see if she has any requests at all. Books, linens, liquids, perfumes, dolls. I'll give her parchment to make a list. She can write, correct?
That's all she does.
There might be a lot Within reason due to our predicament, but definitely.
She's gonna want 12 horses.
Horses inside the room.
I want a pony. I want a butterfly. Just the most like first world things that a child would want.
If that's it, then you probably prepare to take your leave.
What my guess is what she would say is she's going to write, um, however much you would have spent on these gifts, make it towards food towards me and my brother for the like a span of time. Is probably what you would actually write, which is sad.
So back to the sludging and trekking of the Riverlands. Unless you had anything else you want to say, Dave.
Nope. The individual in the green cloak.
Yeah, the individual in the green cloak. Did I say her? Did you already say his name?
No.
No. I didn't just say it either. He just moving.
What are you talking about?
What? Oh my god. I didn't mean to say
You guys
that.
will get this joke in a minute.
He is moving and trekking and hiding behind this snow, looking at the stony set. It is now not burning, but thick plumes of smoke. There are still sounds of warfare. It seems like individuals are trapped inside houses and fighting and throwing rocks out at what looks to be, you've never seen them in person, but they look like they're Reavers, Ironborn Raiders, stone armor and leather armor and cloth, and just throwing hatchets and knives, and one guy bites a guy's throat out. You're just perched. You might be able to climb this tree. You have a bow, and there's not very tall walls.
I am. Do I also have a dagger on me?
Yes.
I am going to attempt to sneak up behind him and use my dagger to just slit his throat.
Make an attack with advantage. Going to this guy that has like.
Is this not also a sneak attack?
Are you a rogue? Or does Ranger have sneak attack feature? I believe I gave it to Ranger, did I not?
I thought everybody could do a sneak attack. It's just that you could only. No, that's a lie. I don't know what I thought it was.
Advantage if they do not see you. If you are a rogue, I think Rangers do get sneak attack, but I think at a higher level than rogues do. In my system, Rangers do not get sneak attack in D&D 5e.
They currently do not get it at all.
Then perhaps it was something else. But normally in D&D 5e, which is what a lot of this is based off of, rogues are the only ones with that class feature. You get advantage if you can sneak up on them. If you're a rogue, you get advantage, and you do extra damage if you hit. But you're still getting advantage. He has like this woman who by the neck was throttling, and you just come up behind him.
Currently 18 is the highest I've gotten. 18.
And you come up and just slit it real quick. You can just do that. Like a spurts and covers her face for a moment before you drop him, and she just drops behind this wagon. Thank you, sir.
The person in the cloak just kind of like nods vaguely and then continues on down the road,
Trekking,
trying to stay as hidden as they can.
Sneak, do you want to take it? You see, there's a man that's climbing on top of this like wooden house that is burning, and there's someone that's trying to like back up on the ground away from him. An older man who's like holding his hands up, and half of the house, the wooden house, is on fire, and he comes up with this big spear.
I'm going to knock an arrow in my bow and attempt to hit his arm so it knocks his shot off.
Make a
center.
ranged attack. God damn, boy. You didn't count that because the landing is so smooth.
That was awful. I felt so bad. I was like, "Oh, that's not hitting." It was a 15. That is going to be a 22 in total.
Now he goes down and slam down with his spear, and he goes off, and he ends up driving it into the burning wood and falls through and goes down into the burning building. And the old man looks around and just jumps and falls off the side and like starts limping away from the house.
I continue.
Yeah, you continue. You come up on a scene of just a guy that looks like he has the clothing of a worshiper of the seven, but he has some like armor under it, some chainmail. He might be a defender. You're unaware of whatever this is. He's engaged. He's a big guy. And he's youthful, and he's engaged by two older men, but they're both taking swings at him. He's trying to block. All three of them have swords.
I'm going to take aim at one of the attackers. I don't know why I'm using this dice. That's why it's been weird rolling. It's going to be a 12.
That beats one of their armor classes.
That's crazy.
They're not out very much. Yeah, you just pierce them in the back of their lung, and they drop to the ground. The other Ironborn gets distracted and looks at you, and as he looks at you, a sword gets stuck through his head, and he gets dropped, and the other one just falls and slowly starts dying.
I begin walking over to collect my arrow.
Yeah, you come over.
The other one having burnt in the. I could not.
The guy's terrified. The guy's exhausted and like scary. He's like, "Who are you?"
What?
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 Common tongue.
My name's What.
Okay.
As Watt Rivers is going to take down his cloak, and at this moment the audience would see a very young looking man, very bony in features, clearly lives outside, greasy hair, hair cut into a middle part, kind of like my haircut, except no long, just the middle part with coming down to like here probably, but black hair, very dirty looking. Yeah, someone who spends most of their time outside.
Yeah, and are you wearing any colors?
It would be the green cloak, of course, and then it would be the tunic that he has on would have a brown. It's mostly a brown tunic with just one giant golden acorn on the middle of it.
Anyways, most of them have fled. I think they're moving on. I heard one of them say something about Heron Hall, their next target. I don't know. And you hear a loud sound behind, and this tall figure, who, let me get his colors right, but he has a guy by the neck. He threw him into a burning house that collapses, and he turns. He has this long sword, and he has rage in his eyes. He has a close-cut hair. Yeah, he has all black cloth. He has all black clothing on, and he almost looks like a Night's Watchman in one large gray. What type of fish is he asking?
Wait, what?
You don't know. Codfish. This is Kristen Cod. And the royal warrior backs up a little bit, and he starts walking towards you. He seems thick and meat-headed.
I think, as Watt is turned to the man sitting down, I think we both know that neither one of us alone would be able to fight this person. Do you think you'd be able to, while he has arrows being pelted at him?
Undoubtedly.
Thank you. And Watt is going to pull a arrow and knock it towards the man and let loose.
Make an attack roll.
Oh my god! What is going on? Natural 1.
It goes wide, and Christian turns and growls and starts to jog as the man races. Make another. Plug this guy.
Natural 1. I've been so cool this entire time.
Well, Watt has probably not had a 6'4" man charge at him much.
Probably, yeah.
He might have also killed for the first time a moment ago. Give me that last one. This one goes wide also, and the guy's like, "What?
Give me a second!" And gonna shoot another one. Can I have advantage due to adrenaline?
Additionally, he is much closer now.
That should have been my main reasoning. 10.
I thought it was a 1 for a second. You're gonna punch me. I don't.
20. On that.
Yeah, you hit him, and this arrow. Where were you targeted on?
Just center mass at this point. I've missed 2 shots.
It like plugs in his ribs, and as he's running, he goes to swing wide, and the guy dodges, and then clatters against him. Can you please roll for this gentleman? The good guy who's fighting the bad guy.
I'll do it with the red dice. I shouldn't have. No, I'm kidding. I got a 14. What is his modifier?
Oh, +2.
So, 16.
They fight a little bit. The bigger man is definitely stronger, and he's pushing back on him, and then he grabs his throat and tries to angle his longsword to the side of his neck. But he's ignoring you, leaving you exposed.
I am going to make a dive to the left and attempt to shoot an arrow at his arm that is holding the neck.
So make an attack roll with advantage. They're grappled.
That is a. Is this an unnat 22? That's really funny. Yeah, it is because I have a +7 and I got 13. Unnat 20 for the first one, and advantage.
You shoot, it goes. So he has him by the throat, and then his blade like this. You're threading the needle and pierce his arm perfectly. He falls back, and the guy, the priest, rips his sword up and kind of hits him back, and he has 2 arrows protruding his chest open. He goes to strike again, but he's sitting there exposed as you're on the ground, but you raise up.
Mm.
Make an attack.
Oh, it's rolling good again. Dude, I have 2 nat 1s in a roll in a row. It's awful, bro. That's gonna be a 25.
Yeah, right through the throat. Slams his hands together on his long sword and moves forward slightly as the guy backs up.
Watt is going to use the bow to get himself back up and go by the 7. And not even looking at the man currently slowly dying.
Closer. It slams on the ground.
Are you okay?
Yes, Adam.
It's a very weak handshake.
Yeah. He looks down the handshake and back a couple times.
It's good to meet you, sir. What is your name?
Adam. He just said.
Oh, Watt was not paying attention.
Adam. I'm a priest, I suppose.
Oh, Watt, as they're speaking, walks over to the body of the man, flips him over, and begins trying to take the arrows out.
Are you a hedge knight, a soldier?
Not a knight, but something of that nature. I am it.
Probably be a knight. You'd probably be a knight years ago.
Oh, okay. Yes.
No, you'd probably be a knight due to your station, but it wouldn't have been years ago. I misspoke. Probably the same time that this came about.
Yeah.
Reputation.
Hedge knight in terms of land to have, yes.
Are you a good man? I plan to ride for Harrenhal. I have nothing left for me here.
What's at Harrenhal?
And they said that they were heading to Harrenhal. Harrenhal is right here. It's currently led by House Woad. It's the closest, largest castle. Only a few men, him as their leader, stayed here. There was a party thrice as big as this, and they said they were taking out Harrenhal. I am sworn to House Woad. I do not want to see them fall.
Let us go.
Are you from a house? I see your colors. And he goes looking for a horse.
I'm a bastard. Smallwood.
The Smallwoods are good people.
I
fought with your father, I presume, in the last Blackfire Rebellion. He's a good man.
Yes, they called me the Gilded Acorn.
What are you?
Yeah, isn't it easy to do when you're super excited?
I haven't heard of you, but if you're a bastard with a knighthood and a name, I trust you. He rides over and lets you get on the back of his horse, and he kind of rides around looking for anybody else. Most people have ran away into the snow or just moved on. But you guys just ride for Harrenhal. That happens. Baelish has his cloak tight, looking around.
I'm gonna grab a soda. Do you want one?
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Why do you? I asked you if you want one, and you say, "Can I have one?"
No, man. Thank you very much.
Yeah, bro. I bought them. Well, I bought them for the house, but then
I was gonna say
brought them for you guys.
That's also why I asked is if this is marital soda. I don't know how else to refer to that.
I gotta go grocery.
Conjugal soda.
Okay.
My house feels
Lit-
community soda.
Legitimately, okay. Here's a little story for everybody while we're pouring these. Every single time I go over to Alicia's, I will bring a 12-pack of root beer. I will I will drink 4 of them, and then I will return the next time, and all of them are gone.
You will drink probably 8 of them.
That is not true. At maximum 6, which would be fair, by the way.
You know by say otherwise.
I threw them all away. They're all trash.
That doesn't defer the amount. No, I threw it all away. Yeah, we found these bullet casings on the side of no, I threw those away.
The fact that she's also just lying right now.
You're not lying.
The camera's also working good, so I'll just make
I
sure to start
definitely do
restarting my
drink
phone.
all of your drinks, but I think you drink far more than you're willing to say.
This is funny.
As long as you're not bringing armies to my damn house.
So, Bailey.
I'll be right back. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Trying to stay clean.
He's just right over there. You can still hear me. So this Baelish is riding through the snow, walking through the snow rather, and he has his face obscured. A horse begins to come up with a rider on it, and they have black leather armor on, or brown leather armor that has a ton of black dots in a row. And Baelish goes, "Sorry," and a man dismounts and goes, "My name is Raymore Royce. Benedict Royce and Lady Stark sent me. We found your convoy, but they said you were missing. Are you Baelish?" And he nods. And they say, Xander, a blonde man, they said, was out here as well. And Baelish just shakes his head. And he nods and helps, Raymore Royce helps him onto the horse. And both Watt and Adam and Raymore and Baelish are both riding off, 2 people on one horse. Corliss, you and Robar are in the back of this wagon, trying to stay warm, eating biscuits and things like that. I heard what you said earlier about the dragons. Not a fan of them.
I was just talking of a children's tale. I didn't mean anything by it.
You know there's one on the wall. Brendan, they call him.
Failures usually end up there.
Oh, we're heading there now. Don't. We won't stay. Let me be clear. I fucking hate that wall. I think it's pretty loyal to his house, even though his nephew, I don't want to say betrayed. I'd say just not mention. I've met him before. You'll be able to tell which one is him.
I think the 7 made them that way to
Undoubtedly.
tell them apart from us.
Undoubtedly. You've never seen men so pale, or hair so pale, or eyes so.
Reminds me of winter. That kind of goes crazy.
I find the peaks of our sigil more comforting. The more pale the world becomes. I simply wanted to go meet with Jack to find out how they got through the wall again. That Lord Commander Musket. They call him Sleepy Jack. Not from the last generation. You were wanting to come by because you wanted to track any wildlings leaving, correct?
Yes. I don't remember.
I think you said you wanted to just make sure that none of them were getting back over the wall.
Yes.
Maybe we can weigh in on any captured individuals, their fates.
I'd like that. Do you know, are we already on the journey?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I hate to cut the conversation short, but my wounds are screaming for rest.
Yeah, you want a long rest?
Yes, please.
Long rest, and you can regain a 1d10 HP.
Plus my
Plus your durability modifier. Yeah, you got food here. And yeah, a day passes.
1d10.
We see just a quick overhead shot of the 2 horses, Baelish and Raymar. They're approaching a caravan, and then the clouds obscure our vision. And then we see the clouds go away, and we see another duo riding heavily through the marshes on the way to Harrenhal. As our vision goes past Harrenhal, for a split second over the castle, we hear whispers in our ears that sound phantom-like. Then we continue back up north. You wake up as he pats you on the shoulder. We're here, and they got some. He pops the back open.
Just a quick question
Yes.
before we continue. On the actual like class sheets that you gave to create the characters, it does have at the top that we get hit dice every level. When would I use that? If not during a long
Not
rest.
supposed to have it.
Okay. That's originally why I thought that we got health every level, and then I was like, oh, we just get hit dice. But no.
No, you're supposed to. If you choose that, you can in fact take a hit die worth of health every level. You're not supposed to even have hit die.
Okay, it is at the top of Warrior. I don't know about the
It'll
other
probably
ones.
on the top of the other ones too. So I'll fix that.
Okay, cool.
Thank you very much for coming.
No worries. I saw that and I was like, I should have these, but he probably just don't know.
You kind of get out. It's not blowing hard. Ironically, next to the wall, the storms aren't that bad. It's not blowing that hard, and it's not snowing that hard. It is incredibly cold. You get out, kind of steady yourself, and look. Half of your vision is obscured by this vast, giant, 700-foot tall wall of ice. That the clouds, you don't see the top of it. Just half of what you can see is this wall. And a very large fortress stands before it. The fortress gates are slowly opening, and there's these men in these feathery black cloaks beckoning you in. And as you guys kind of walk in, this whole caravan is allowed to be entered with the supplies. This portlier fellow older walks up and goes, "Oh, my lord, it pleases me to see you." And Robar goes, "It pleases me to see you as well, Lord Commander. I hear you have welcomed prisoners." And he goes, "Well, yes, we captured them fleeing halfway through the night. We plan to decide what to do with them today." And Robar goes, "On behalf of Lord Erow Stark, I will take care of them." And Jack goes, "With all due respect." And Robar kind of grips him and goes, "They got through a second time. I am due respect, you are not." And he kind of pulls his knife a little bit.
Corliss is going to be getting out of the carriage as this conversation is happening, and as he's grabbing at the dagger at his hip, Corliss is going.
Rare sight seeing a man in full plate armor slam down. All these guys have tunics and cloth on. So this mini boss comes out.
Lord Stark also wishes for the maximum amount of information to get back directly to him. I would beg of you that you would allow us to speak with them first. You can, of course, speak with them after we are finished.
Robar nods, understanding your diplomacy. He goes, "Edard, come." And he kind of turns Jack. "Tell him everything you know."
Because I guess technically Corliss and this guy are on the same level. That's crazy to think about. Because we're both lords.
You're a lord. You're a landless lord, which isn't a thing. What is a thing? Like Peter Baelish is a lord.
It's probably in the books that land is still Corbray land, but they control it.
Yes.
Period.
That makes sense too. Even though you refer to as sir, you're my lord. You should have a steward. You should have.
Which makes it all so much worse for him.
I can tell him a king has a steward, even though Hannah King kind of does what a steward do. Weird. Or maybe Castellan's just a northern term.
Yeah.
Doesn't that matter?
Castellan in the CK3A got Castellans are everywhere. So in CK3A got. I don't know if that affects anything.
Interchangeably.
Yeah, maybe.
Robert beckons you, and you guys get led to where there's these tons of in a room bound and gagged wildlings.
What's the latency looking like?
Good.
Okay, cool. I just had a skip here, and I just want to check.
It is 4 green bars.
Cool. That is
My sigil.
better than we've streamed at before. Sorry, what were you saying?
You just get brought to this room with a ton of wildlings. And Robar Bolin is the only full set of full plate you've seen here. The Blue Dot Knight Robbage Pool, he had the plate, but then iron and basic clothes. Both you guys, these impenetrable warriors, enter, and the wildlings just kind of look up. And you see that there's some spearwives here and some children as well, of various ages. And they just kind of shrink away. Multiple Night's Watchmen are in there, and they kind of turn and just see you guys. And one goes, "I'm sorry, but you can."
You may leave.
And Robar goes, "Lords Bolton and Corbray request you leave." Revealing to you, you don't think you gave your name to him. You said Corliss, so evidently he asked about you. And the Night's Watchmen nod, and like the five of them so funnel out, and Robar slams the door shut. The thin light streams into like the cracks of the wood.
Which of you speak common tongue?
A shaky hand goes up with like a 60-year-old one. It seems like maybe he was once a great warrior, but his eyes gouged out. He has a heavy sludge. His beard is very white.
Tell me of your name, aged one.
Bennis.
Bennis. How long have you and your people been here?
At Castle Black.
Yes.
Half a day.
How much longer do they wish to be here? Ask the one next to you.
He turns and he speaks in this grizzled, archaic version of the common tongue, but it's like old English to you.
What is the one he's speaking to next to him?
It's a woman in her 40s who's a little shorter, but has scars on her as well. And she says back, and he goes, "Darla has children, 2 babes at home. All of us wish to go home as best as possible. My king."
After he finishes speaking, Corliss allows the room to be quiet for a minute, and then turns towards the larger woman and looks towards the man again. And I assume you haven't told the rest of the castle anything yet?
We have not been questioned.
We
were thrown in here.
At the "we have not been questioned," Corliss is going to stab through the woman's head with Lady Forlorn.
He drops down and people start screaming and crying and like accusing, like cursing you out.
Corliss is going to grab the old man like from behind, grabbing his throat, and then
you see that they're all like tied together by ropes that like connect each of their wrists, but you can pop that off super easy with Lady Forlorn if you want.
No, I'll just drag the rest of them while grabbing him.
One like 14-year-old goes to grab your arm, a young boy. And Rovar comes up and backhands him with his steel blade gun, busting his nose open.
Tell them to quiet down.
And he barks out a command, and everyone ceases moving. That boy hides his face whimpering.
Tell them that I will fulfill each and every one of their wishes if they do not tell me what I need to know.
He repeats it and then turns back to you. I want to be of service. Just ask.
He drops him and then allows Robar to begin speaking.
How did you get through? The man. Let me pull up the map. Only 6 of the castles are still populated by Night's Watchmen. The few of us who come below the wall are aware of that. With the storm, we simply waited until one of those was good to come through. And Robar goes, "And you weren't spotted by anyone. No patrols. The Night's Watch is supposed to do patrols monthly. Stay a few days at each keep, regardless of the weather." And the old man just goes, "We saw no Night's Watchmen until we returned. Our navigator was incorrect, and we walked right into Castle Black." And Robar just goes, "Do you have any questions?"
I think we've gotten what we need.
Yeah.
He kind of like takes Robar to the side a little bit. It does not seem like the Night's Watch would have use of this information anyway. If
I think not.
you can stay if you'd like, I will finish up.
My blade is short.
And then Corliss is going to turn and begin.
Both of them turn, and we cut away.
Oh my god, that's awful! Oh my god!
Well, you don't get all 7. You don't get all 40. I'm going to give you half. We see him just perched. Is this outside, looking as screams happen, and the Night's Watchman turn, and blood gets shot against walls. Is this lone Night's Watchman perched, red eyes, hooked nose, a large birthmark on his face that could resemble a raven, long white hair, just staring intently. And then on horseback.
Not Brendan Rivers. What's his name? Is it Brendan Rivers?
Brendan Rivers is his name. He has a very
Okay.
popular moniker, just like.
I know. I was thinking of that. I just wanted to say that.
It's Blood Raven.
Well, yeah, I didn't want the audience to know, because in case they don't know Game of Thrones, then this guy's Blood Raven.
He has that name from the story. Yeah, Bittersteel Blood Raven. I don't know if Shiera Seastar, the female one, had a name, and then Damon Blackfire. He has the hardest title in all of Game of Thrones. The King Who Bore the Sword. I could have been looking up on the map this whole time. Watt and the final scene of our session tonight. Watt and Adam are approaching Harrenhal, which is this old stone building. Make a history check with advantage. The story of Harrenhal is pretty famous.
You said advantage?
Correct.
Thank God. Even though this doesn't really matter that much. But anyway. History. I do not have proficiency in history. It's going to be plus 0, 12.
12. You can't remember the exact story, but Aegon the Conqueror burned Harrenhal because they did not bend the knee. The people inside died, but the castle did not. So this thick stone castle that's black and charred. And as you're approaching, you hear like a speaking bug go across your shoulder and you turn. And your hair just stands on end here.
Adam,
Yes.
Did you hear that?
I hear nothing.
You would through all that thick plate. I don't understand how you and your kin do it.
In the marshes of the Riverlands, it is difficult, but it protects us. Seven, be with me. Yeah, you guys go closer and closer, and he kind of dismounts, and there's just a large party that is on the outside of Harrenhal.
You aren't much for humor, are you?
Not particularly.
Let's hope they aren't either. Or, I guess.
The front doors bust down on the wood and through like this big hammer they're carrying, and people just start to funnel in. It's like, there's a lot of ironborn. We may fall today or tomorrow, but I can tell you're a good man. If neither of us make it out of this, thank you for fighting this fight with me.
I do what I can. I will stay up here. Is this a good distance for archery?
Yes, you'll be able to definitely in like the courtyard. You can scale a tree, or you might even scale the walls. You can pluck off. Eventually, you're gonna have to go inside though.
Yeah,
then you
of
can probably
course.
use your trick you were using against Kristen God. Trick. You shot him with your
While another guy held him.
But no, yeah. You climb a tree easily and perch as Adam just walks in there, his white armor.
Do I before do I have any kind of materials to make a torch on me?
No.
Am I able to start a fire? Am I able to put some of that material on an arrow and start a fire, start a fire on it?
Using the knowledge that fire cannot destroy hair and all.
Yeah, sure.
No, yeah, you can definitely do that.
Do I see any casks? Do I see any casks of wine or like any alcohol?
You look and see there's like hay, but it's all wet, which would be awful. Not actually awful. It is pretty decently good, and the smoke is dark. So if it was pale smoke, or is it the reverse?
I think you're right.
Yeah. You can tell
No,
if,
it is pale.
if it's pale smoke, you can tell the thing that
Because
was
clouds
already
are
wet.
pale.
But if it was dark, you can tell it was dry. Fun fact. You do see that a giant flask of ale was overturned and is currently spilling down the thing.
I'm going to light the arrow and then shoot it at
You hear
that.
Adam say, "The light of the seven will burn all of you heretics." And as he pulls up his sword, the men go, "Oh, oh," and he just starts cutting them down. And
That
as he
goes
swings
so
at the last
crazy.
guy, the episode ends. Now, as the Assassin 3, Duncan did this. Thank you all so much for watching. We had to stream it in 2 parts and record it in 2 parts, but we should be able to easily slam those 2 together for the YouTube audience. So Sunday at 7, we will be back with session 8 of the Coral Council, which is our D&D game.
Which we will now have everybody for.
Correct. Outside of that, join our Discord. It will be in the bio. We are Hydra Studios TikTok on Instagram, Hydra Studios D&D, Hydra Studios TikTok,
And YouTube.
on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. That's it. And I post short, funny videos. We post interviews with these people. We have a podcast that has 2 episodes out, so we should have the 3rd one. Not soon, we don't plan, but we will have the 3rd one soon.
Yeah.
Outside of that, thank you all so much for watching. I mentioned in the first 2 episodes that this might only be like a 4-parter. We talked about that. It might have been like 10, 11, 12. But not everyone's same story. For example, Corliss's story is close to being finished.
And because if you have not been able to tell, we are enjoying this story thoroughly.
But yeah, outside of that, thank you all so much for watching, and have a good evening. Or
Peace.
have a good day.